Imagine this: you've been dropped into another world. No Wi-Fi, no coffee, just people who talk with their fists. And swords? Now, you're Kim Gun, a legendary hitman, a dead-eye gunslinger, with a cigarette always lit. A prominent scar marks your face, and your only weakness is a dog that looks like a walking meatball. Welcome to Murim, where old men think they're martial grandmasters, and every fight ends in an ER visit or an explosion. Here, bullets and blades are exchanged like bad jokes, and the world's fate lies with a man who just wanted to get his dog some snacks. Between gunfights and bizarre rituals, our so-called savior has one simple goal: to get home safely with his pup. But until then, this world is his personal firing range, full of sarcasm, gunpowder, and a dash of deadly adorableness. Our story opens with a figure emerging from the shadows. He glances up, muttering, "Nice weather," as he lights a smoke. This is our main character, sporting that signature facial scar. A voice asks where he came from. A blonde man grovels on the floor, pleading if he's about to leave, completely unaware of his situation. Gasping, he warns another killer is coming to finish him. Our hero remains silent as the man insists there is still time to apologize. With a stone-cold vibe, the protagonist fires around, saying the guy on the floor is just too loud. Then, a tiny puppy barks beside him, immediately stealing his attention. The chubby pup tumbles around, looking incredibly cute, with a smirk. The assassin asks if his little friend missed him. He looks down, wondering if the pup is hungry, and suggests they find some food, feeing his name is Kim Gun. As he leaves, we learn his title: Battle Demon, the #1 assassin. He strolls past, a scene where a boy begs to skip school. His mom says no, offering a treat for good behavior. Our hero sees this and thinks about getting a snack for his own little pal. Suddenly, a spam text about Murim appears on his screen, and he assumes it's a new assignment. A little later, the sun beats down on a normal convenience store. He crouches, asking his puppy what it wants, then decides to buy the entire aisle. Out of the blue, someone next to him says they need a word. Baffled, our hero wonders what all the muttering is for. The man talks about a job, and Kim asks if he's talking to himself. The other guy confirms he is, indeed, talking to him. This gets Kim's full attention. The hitman says it's the perfect moment to eliminate him, just as planned. He then bids farewell to #1, who can only curse in response. In a flash, a gunshot rings out while our hero scoffs at the fool's ambition. He calls it a pointless end, but then corrects himself, admitting he was the one taken out. But he vows to get revenge on that idiot in hell. Fading to black, he worries. What will happen to his puppy? When his eyes flutter open, he sees his precious doggo. Then, a gleaming bald head appears in his view. Our gunslinger instantly reacts, headbutting the strange figure that popped up, with his hands on his head, utterly confused. Our hero asks if he's actually dead, since he was certain he got shot in the head. He frets about his puppy, then feels relieved seeing it right there. Suddenly, the bald man gets up, claiming he's finally woken after eons, holding his nose. The man announces the savior has at last answered their summons. Looking around, our hero sees a crowd of people cheering that they believe in him. Completely bewildered, he freezes, questioning the commotion. Then, a person steps before him, stating, "It is an honor to meet the savior." This man introduces himself as the first elder of the Die of the Bloody Brotherhood. Our hero just stares, questioning this whole savior business, having no idea what's happening or how it works. But the bald man simply states they have a quest. The young man is to conquer the Murim world. The gunslinger looks up, totally baffled by this talk of conquest. He then wonders where in the world he actually is. Soon, Kim understands this is not his world. It is, in fact, a place called Murim in another dimension that he's meant to conquer. He was apparently summoned, but the whole thing is still incredibly strange. He stays quiet, observing all the people beaming at him. Soon, those smiles vanish when our hero declares they're all insane. He desperately grabs his phone, wondering why he was chosen, only to find there is no service here. Standing up defiantly, the assassin demands to be sent back before he gets serious, but he's told he's already being serious. He insists he must find the one who killed him and needs to return, which confuses the elder, who thinks the man isn't their savior. Our hero agrees that he isn't, and says the elder has lost his mind, telling him to go back home. Unexpectedly, laughter echoes through the hall. Someone remarks on how proud they are of his attitude, saying, "This is a true savior should act." Just then, a voice chimes in, insisting the elder isn't bald. He simply never grew any. The savage roast makes everyone gasp. The elder warns him to watch his tone. Like that, as the tension mounts, this new figure approaches the main character. The newcomer strolls up, telling our hero to stop being so thoughtless and get his head on straight. One wrong move, and he could wind up dead before he even realizes it. And so, the fearsome leader of the blood cult, Sehuk-young, finally appears. Our gunslinger just smirks, saying the old man is the problem. After all, they're the ones who brought him here. He warns the elder to choose his words carefully. One mistake could mean death from the #1 assassin. The elder quickly begs the savior not to provoke him. The cult leader. But the silver-haired man waves it off, claiming he's got this under control. He then issues a challenge. If Kim wins, he becomes the new cult leader with absolute power. The elder tries to warn him of the folly, but the gray-haired man cuts him off completely. The gunslinger retorts he just wants to go home. Suddenly, an immense pressure forces him into silence. Stunned, he looks around, confused by its origin. He then realizes the true danger seeing the elder's face. The elder is ready to unleash hell. He's never felt such dread, but he tries to stay calm. After all, he's just an old man. As the ghost of the battlefield, he claims to fear no one. Asked if he's ready, our hero scoffs, saying he needs no prep for an old man. The leader smirks. We'll see how cocky you are. Kim retorts this isn't a debate, offering him the first move. The chance for the first strike. The elder accepts, stating he won't hold back. Then he vanishes. In a flash, like a ghost. The protagonist's face drains of color. The old man is right there. He appears in an instant, fist cocked back. That punch, a wrecking ball of pure force, flies at him. The impact slams into our hero, sending him hurtling back. A wave of energy blasts Kim against the wall. He crashes hard, shattering the structure from the impact. A massive explosion erupts, revealing the elder's immense power. Dazed and shaken, our hero can only spit blood. As he recovers, the leader strolls over, mocking his inability to dodge a simple attack. Is this really our savior? He calls him pathetic, not worth his time. Until he sees something. It's his puppy, trying to bite the cult leader's leg. In a panic, our hero screams for it to run. It's too dangerous, but it's useless. He warns them not to touch his pet. Then he looks over. He sees his friends and family sent flying into the wall. A pained cry escapes as he sees them collapse, unconscious on the ground. The leader orders his men to throw the protagonist in prison and feed the animal to the wolves, an order the elder accepts. Roaring with fury, the gunslinger screams that it's not a pet. It's his family. If they dare touch his puppy, the leader's life is forfeit. The man turns, amused. Do you truly believe you're that powerful? Our hero stands and asks who the strongest in the world is. The bald elder, annoyed, says he's just provoking the leader. The sect leader looks at him. But his attention is caught by something odd. The bald man is confused, but the leader sees it. An unusual item. Our hero then declares the one with the weapon is the strongest. A shot rings out. Gunpowder flashes in the dim light. They watch the bullet fly. The silver-haired man scoffs at the weapon. What's the point of that? Then, the bullet pierces his head. The bald elder can't believe his eyes. He's stunned to see the leader bleeding. The body hits the ground, creating a shockwave. They're all frozen. They can't process what just happened. Confused, one of his men calls out to him, but then screams. He screams in fury, ordering everyone to attack. The assassins can't be allowed to escape. They all charge the protagonist, but he just smirks, telling them to come at once. He has one more. Weapon left. Gunfire roars like thunder as bullets rain down on the attackers. They all picked the wrong guy to mess with. The king gun begins his massacre. Casualties pile up. Every single shot is a perfect headshot. The bald elder hears desperate cries for help. As they try to take him down, we flash back to someone warning that the fight was already lost. Our hero starts questioning this whole situation. Without waiting, he warns them it's all about grace with a side of style. A fist connects, and the guy drops like a stone. That powerful hand gets ready for another round. Our short-haired hero adds that revenge is also on the menu. He's just a bit bummed they went down so quickly. Suddenly, a voice shouts at him, asking if he feels like the top dog now that he's alone. He sneers that there's always someone you can't beat. But our protagonist finds it completely absurd. Do you even know me, or are you just an idiot? He asks. If the guy truly wants to see who's stronger, a loud crack, like a firecracker, makes him flinch. He looks down as sharp pain explodes in his leg. His foe says no matter how strong he is, he'll never win a fight. Using only his fists. Kneeling, our hero asks why he did it, smirking through the pain. You could have talked, instead of shooting my leg. The man grins, claiming he's being dramatic since it was a light wound. Our hero curses under his breath. The man muses how life can flip with just a single finger, sweating from the pain. Our main character asks what he wants, with a red glare and a sly grin. The bald man offers to make him the strongest ever. The sun gleams off the barrel of our hero's own gun. The elder looks up as a bullet rips through his arm. The protagonist asks if he finally understands who's the strongest here. Desperate, the bald man promises him anything. Just let him live. Time passes. The elder asks how the new seat feels. With a daring look, our hero grips the gun. He is now the cult leader, his little dog promoted to vice leader. A bullet screams past the grinning bald man's ear. He feels the burn from the wound. Annoyed, the gunslinger asks if he's crazy. He just wants to go home. He realizes he must deal with the one who shot him. This seems impossible. The elder says he has no idea how to get back. Because there's no way. Our hero, feigning cheerfulness, sings that he really doesn't know and should have mentioned it. He presses the gun to the man's temple, threatening to send him to the old leader down below. The old man kneels, pleading for a few more days to fix it. Pure fear is on his face as he begs for more time. Irritated, our hero pinches his nose and tells the elder to get lost. The bald man flees in terror, while our hero wonders if he should have just ended it. He then sits down and relaxes. This whole thing is bizarre, and his phone is dead. But then, his phone buzzes. He opens it, completely shocked. He was sure it was broken. A weird message offers him a chance to conquer the Murim world. He recognizes it's the same message he got before he died, the one he wrote off as spam. Reading it again fills him with irritation. He tries typing. Frustrated, he can't respond. He just wants out of this mess. The message dares him to survive in Murim, another dimension. It says Kim must complete a mission, which irritates him even more. He wonders what it's all about. The message says conquering Murim is his ticket home. If he doesn't finish the mission within a year, he'll lose his precious, adorable little dog. Our main character grabs his head. In frustration, the message adds that the dog can't die because it's just too cute. Good luck, it concludes. Stunned and stressed, his scream of despair echoes through the cult's hall. Then, Kim opens a door and asks if the bald man is there. He overhears him badmouthing a stinky punk who disrespects elders. If only he'd known. He would have sent him back already. Suddenly, our hero's shadow looms over him. Planning a trip, old man? He screams in panic, in tears. The bald man swears he was talking about his son, and the bag was just to research sending him back. He begs not to be killed, listing the benefits of keeping him alive. Our hero tries to explain that's not why he's here, but the bald man's panicked rambling cuts him off. Annoyed, he yells at the elder to shut up and listen. The man apologizes, terrified for his life. The protagonist clears his throat and says he's on board with that idea from earlier. The guy is confused by what his leader just said. He thinks they are about to conquer the Murim world. But the bald man's face glows with joy. Just as I expected from my great savior, he vows to prepare the squad at once, but our protagonist adds one single condition. A bit later, the old elder calls an assembly. He announces the new leader's orders. They are no longer the Sacred Blood sect, but from this day forward, they are the sect of Fa, with a symbol of the cutest possible vibes. The disciples erupt in celebration. This new sect name feels a little forced. One guy wonders how to escape this mess, thinking it's all a joke, but he lays eyes on the puppy, and his will evaporates. He must unconditionally protect this creature's pure adorableness. Another dude randomly proposes to the tiny animal. Meanwhile, a rumor spreads that the demonic cult's leader has been replaced, and even adopted a new name. An old man surveys the landscape. Hearing that, the sect is now the Mongu cult. As head of the Kunlun sect, he senses a new era dawning. He asks, curious, about the new leader, learning he wields some wild demonic arts. The old man, intrigued, questions if that's confirmed. The other admits it's only a rumor, but witnesses swear that every single move he makes means someone dies. Shocked, the elder asks about this strange art. He learns it's all in the snap of his fingers. Apparently, the new cult leader just flicks his middle finger. Baffled, the old man asks if that's seriously it, but the kneeling man can only speculate. Elsewhere in the Mongu clan, someone screams that this news makes no sense. After all, our protagonist defeated the last leader and is now in charge, all without the elder's approval. The second elder quickly interjects, stating the strongest is always the one to lead. The redhead yells that he rejects this so-called savior, but the eldest warns him to watch his tongue. He is, after all, the current leader. Another elder slams his fist on the table, expressing his rage and impressing the room. This portly man declares he made immense sacrifices for the cult. Humiliated, he claims he gave up sleep, food, and all joy, yet still wasn't consulted. The most logical one says if he has a problem, he should prove his strength. But he'd better recall that the new leader defeated the last one. And if he's not careful, he could end up buried 6 feet under. The redhead turns toward the door, and the others follow his gaze. Sensing an arrival, the first elder announces their new cult leader. The 3 of them quickly rise to show their respect
for the new power. Suddenly, the 4th elder notices something by our main character, the adorable little puppy.
Tagging along, bending over, he marvels at how a tiny thing can be so cute, asking where he found such a precious companion. With a creepy smile, he offers to take good care of the little friend, but our protagonist shuts him down with a savage remark. Punching the elder square in the face, he asks who gave him the nerve. The 4th elder crumples to the floor, but our protagonist doesn't spare him a glance. With a clenched fist, he states they summoned him here only to treat him like a clown. As punishment, he orders the elder to never speak in his presence, and then asks if he understands. He then demands to know why the elder isn't answering. The fat one tries, but gets silenced. The first elder, sweating profusely, declares the council meeting will begin. The cult leader can now start the proceedings. Soon, our protagonist calls for attention, announcing the conquest of the Murim, but the redhead panics when he hears that if they fail within a year, they must all take their own lives. Amused, our protagonist notes how suddenly no one wants to die. Then they start brainstorming ways to conquer the Murim in 1 year. Someone raises a hand, addressing the cult leader, prepared to state it's impossible in that short time. But our protagonist cuts him off, comparing him to a type of tea, which leaves the man utterly baffled. Kim clarifies that since he was about to say it was impossible, he must be considered an idiot with a capital I, confused. The elder wonders what this tea insult even means. Suddenly, a muscle-bound elder slams his fist on the table, roaring that he's heard enough. He shouts that the more he listens, the more this all sounds like pure madness. He says the leader is making choices without the cult's approval, which is completely unacceptable. He calls out the protagonist, saying that even after he beat the old leader, they can't just blindly accept him. If he wants their recognition, he'll have to fight for the leadership spot. Annoyed, the other replies, this is absurd, since he summoned them to conquer the Murim, and he'll show the elder what happens when you waste his time. Our protagonist trusts his own words, but notes the man before him has a strange ability, just like the former leader. In the end, his ammo is limited, so he'll need to use it carefully. With his head lowered, our protagonist reloads his weapon. The elder, confused, assumes he's bowing in fear. With a smug grin, the redhead sneers. Kim must have used a cheap trick to beat the last leader, but that won't work on me. Confidently, the redhead advances on Kim, while the first elder tries to warn his friend not to do something so foolish. The redhead taunts our protagonist, asking if he's too scared to face him. Our hero, and even the dog, are stunned by his audacity. Continuing his tirade, he demands to know why. He's being snubbed, calling our hero a coward, but the protagonist declares this farce is over, deciding now to finally crush him. But as he fires, the impossible occurs. His gun morphs into his phone. He unlocks it and sees a message that completely steals his focus. With a villainous grin, the man taunts him about why he isn't attacking, playing the part of a movie bad guy. But our hero stands firm, asking if he truly wants this fight. With steady, deliberate steps, Kim advances. He agrees to the duel, but on one condition, a special rule our hero devised to teach him some respect. He states his own rank is at stake, so now, this special duel should be interesting. The redhead pales as our hero's murderous aura completely overwhelms him. Later that night, rumors fly about the duel between the elder and their leader. One of them feels the new master is reckless and will lose to the first elder. Most of them believe that Deng Wang holds rank 5 due to his power, but there's a secret. His true talent is turning the tables in a fight. He absorbs any attack until his foe collapses from sheer exhaustion. In a flashback, we see a disciple unleashes a flurry of attacks, but the elder is unimpressed, thinking it's all pathetic. Tenacity is his technique's name, letting him tank even a tiger's blow. It's why they call him the mobile fortress. Suddenly, a new voice cuts in, saying, "You juniors are clueless." Because the new cult leader is a true monster, and this man saw it himself. On a calm, cloudless morning, all hell broke loose. And then, like a thunderclap, the former cult leader fell. That's when the real slaughter began. The moment our hero moved, a brutal massacre commenced. The chubby disciple froze, watching his friends get annihilated without mercy. Facing a frail old man, our hero showed no hesitation, finishing him instantly. At that moment, the perfect title struck the chubby disciple, the true demon of horror. The two listeners thought the nickname was brutally accurate. But then, An announcement the leader and fifth elder had arrived. On the stage, a legendary battle was about to begin. The mobile fortress versus the demon of horror. Immediately, the redhead cracked his knuckles, asking if our hero was ready to be beaten completely. Senseless. Kim found this laughable, but not surprising. Everyone was eager to mock him, until the first blow was struck. A disciple announced the duel's terms, set by the leader. A simple punch. The
rules were simple. They would exchange blows one by one. The last man standing is the victor. It is vital.
To note, the winner decides if the loser lives or dies. They soon settled who'd go first, but the redhead scoffed, asking if they forgot his title, the Mobile Fortress. He declared he wouldn't regret
absorbing the first blow. Our hero thought this guy was completely insane. But then he decided,
why not just take advantage? He warned the elder his target would be the chest. The old man smirked, all smug, claiming he'd regret revealing that vital intel. Instantly, the muscles in his torso hardened, shielding his chest. Fully prepared, he roared for our hero to bring his absolute best. But from nowhere, a gunshot echoed, hitting the elder's thigh, catching him completely by surprise. The referee and the crowd went pale, stunned by such a dirty tactic. Tension filled the air as silence fell, and blood gushed from the redhead's leg. Our hero, feigning confusion, asked why everyone was staring. The disciples assumed it was just a loud noise, nothing to harm the elder, but his confidence shattered as he felt
pain like never before. The crowd fell silent, hearing the man on the ground whine that our hero
promised he would aim for the chest. Enraged, he accused him of trickery and using a cheap shot. Our gunman
gazed down from his superior position and smirked, admitting he completely lied about his target,
which only infuriated the muscular elder. Internally, he felt the shame of losing face before the cult. He knew he had to stand to save face. With a deep sigh, he calmed himself. After all, it was his turn now. He still had one good leg. His veins bulged as he roared. You better prepare, because this punch will pack a punch. The redhead named this strike the tiger's attack. He called it the tiger's fist in homage. But before his fist could connect, another shot echoed out, striking his other leg. Again, the crowd was utterly stunned, witnessing the unbelievable scene. Our hero, perfectly calm, asked why they looked so shocked. The referee then, the elder tried to preach about duel etiquette, but Kim wasn't having it. He shot back, asking who wrote that rule. Was it chiseled into some ancient constitution? If so, he demanded the exact article and paragraph. The elder was stunned. Even a demon, he thought, would fear this guy's logic. Meanwhile, the redhead knew he should act, but his legs turned to jelly. Then our hero dropped some wisdom from his world. They say wit helps you survive a tiger attack, but that's a lie. What you really need to survive is a bigger gun. The elder started begging for his life, but Kim's mind was already set. A sound like a gunshot echoed. The redhead squeezed his eyes shut, bracing for the worst. When he opened them, he saw Kim just walking off. Turns out he was worth more alive. Silently, the man watched this display of bizarre mercy, a strange feeling blooming in his chest. He scratched his nose, sensing the beginning of a very weird alliance. Still, he was spooked. His bullets were gone, and he'd nearly died. But then, a notification chimed, grabbing his attention. His phone showed mission complete, subdue the fifth elder, without killing him. But then, a thought struck him. He asked Dado if there were only 4 elders. The answer: 5 in total, with the third missing, elsewhere. A lone woman was creating a bloodbath. She was getting a full report on everything she missed. Wiping her face, she mused to herself.
She thought she was alone in rebuilding the cult, but some new guy took down the old leader and the fifth elder.
Now she was practically vibrating with excitement. Her crew geared up. Jin Huaran, the third elder, couldn't wait to meet the cult's new leader. A few mornings later, our hero wondered why his dog was acting so strangely. He opened his eyes to see the fifth elder's smiling face, wishing him a good morning. Startled, Kim's response was a swift punch to the face. He deadpanned that the guy's ugly mug was terrifying. He claimed it was pure reflex. The elder insisted he was just standing guard, making sure no one bothered him. If anyone dared to, he'd unleash hell. But Kim just felt threatened and told the guy to get lost. This, of course, crushed the redhead's spirit. Our leader then asked why the bald elder was here. The answer? He was summoned. Later, under the blazing sun, the gunslinger started the meeting, demanding to know why. See, he was the chosen one, and what this takeover Murim plan was. On cue, the second elder began his tale. The Orthodox sects declared the blood cult a threat. Their values and techniques just didn't align. Things escalated, and they attacked without mercy, facing overwhelming numbers. The blood cult was crushed by all sides. The main character asked if they didn't belong to either group. The elder confirmed it. They were neutral, sticking to their own path, until the assault. Now,
They want to unite the chaotic world of Murim under his command, so everyone can finally find peace.
but another elder claimed this was impossible in a year. The gunslinger just cut him off. He sneered, saying he didn't care for peace. He wasn't some cartoon hero. He scoffed that no country
Had ever pulled off something so crazy. Again, he asked why him. The first elder, looking tense, admitted.
He didn't know who summoned him. This only deepened the kid's confusion. Apparently, it all happened during the Murim alliance attack. On that fateful day, chaos descended upon the cult. The first elder yelled he was just a simple servant, but his attacker pointed out his fancy clothes told a different story. The man, about to strike, didn't see a third figure approaching from the shadows. As the presence neared, the man grew confused, asking
Where this newcomer came from. But one swift, silent move was enough to end the conversation permanently. The bald elder screamed in pure terror. With a single strike, the stranger had twisted the man's head clean around. Desperate,
The elder tried to play the pity card, claiming he was sick and near death. But then a strange scroll was tossed.
right at him. The mysterious figure said that at the right time, a savior would appear to unite Murim.
He told the elder to be ready. Clutching the scroll, the old man could only stammer out his questions. The figure turned, saying the scroll would explain everything. Our protagonist finally understood. This guy was a complete enigma. But the elder noticed one shocking detail. The stranger was also bald. Our hero heard this and figured there must be a secret bald guy alliance. So this was the man who brought him here. But his motives were a complete mystery. Just then, a wounded disciple burst in, shouting, "There's an urgent problem. Arriving on site, our gunslinger is baffled by the scene." Before him is a massacre of cultists. Their killer casually apologizes for the unexpected mess, explaining this carnage was just an entry denial. The man's name is Gom Gopong, leader of the Phantom Sword sect. Our protagonist demands to know what's with the bloodbath. If it were a simple misunderstanding, there wouldn't be corpses everywhere. Sword drawn. The man reveals he was waiting for the perfect moment to crush the blood cult. Once he heard an outsider defeated the old leader, he just couldn't hold back. Now they have an excuse to hunt these fools. Annoyed by the chatter, the protagonist declares they're claiming the empty house. Grinning, the arrogant man says the young one is clever, but asks what he'll do knowing their plans. Kim retorts, if he were truly clever, he would already know his own fate. A voice from behind the giant declares the leader has no reason to get involved. With the former leader gone, this axe giant will deal with the boy. Our hero is stunned by the
Sheer size of the weapon, asking if he really plans to use that on his head. The giant confirms it's obvious.
and promises a quick death so the leader won't suffer. As he approaches, Kim thinks he's surprisingly fast. Suddenly, our gunslinger's eyes widen. His own weapon has vanished. Defenseless, he sees the monstrous figure poised to strike him down. But a sharp sound rings out, and the giant leaps back, startled by the crimson spray. The one defending our hero scoffs at the audacity of attacking their boss right in front of them. The hefty elder claims that swing wouldn't even leave a scratch. Then the redhead chimes in,
Stating that attacking the leader of the Mongu clan is one of the gravest crimes possible. With
all his rage, the muscle-bound elder unleashes a massive uppercut. The force of the blow was so immense, even the other clan members felt the shockwave. Hand dripping red, the redhead declares their sentence is death. No appeals. Behind them, Kim thinks the fifth elder is seriously impressive. If he plays this right, he could conquer all of Murim, and it wouldn't even be difficult. The enemy leader says they chose the most foolish way to die. With a chilling smirk, he tells them to watch as their choices lead to their own demise. Our protagonist, holding something, wonders why the old man talks so much and asks him to be quiet for a moment. He doesn't go looking for fights, but he never lets an opponent walk away. The two leaders lock gazes, sparks flying, with the order to wipe them all out. The battle finally begins. Hearing their boss's command, both elders suddenly look deadly serious. The redhead bolts forward, screaming that he's been waiting for this. Our protagonist realizes this guy is quite useful in a fight, but looking at the hefty one, he suspects he's more useless than he imagined. Striking a pose, the elder smashes into the ground, flexing his entire body. With a crazed grin, he roars that he's been holding back too long and tells them to bring it on. The cultists charge, but the redhead dodges the first attack without effort. The second strike is a complete joke to him. Seizing the third opening, he lunges, landing a brutal punch to his foe's ribs. The other two attack, but it's like hitting a mountain with pebbles. The fifth elder easily handles them both, but then he notices he's left a gap in his defense. An attacker rushes his blind spot, sensing a chance to win. The sound of a blade slices the air, but the fifth elder stands firm, seemingly hit. The disciple boasts, "The sword was a family heirloom," but the elder just scoffs, catching the blade with his bare hand. With a flick, he shatters the precious weapon. He then grabs the attacker by the throat. The disciple chokes as the shot sends. Redhead lifts him effortlessly. He slams him headfirst into the stone floor. With a savage grin, the redhead says, "Your skills are pathetic." Feeling another presence, the elder prepares for the next attack. But it's his brother, watching his six. Another disciple charges, questioning if the elder can take him. His face then twists in realization. The hefty one sternly reminds him that he can't allow a single scar on his body. Winding up a punch, he tells the disciple to regret his choices in the afterlife. The punch lands squarely on the disciple's face, who is stunned by how soft it felt. The confused elder asks what he's staring at and if he wants another, confirming the hefty one can't hit hard at all. Our protagonist, he watches, disgusted by a pig-like goon. Then, two assassins move in to attack. They assume the young man is a fool for turning his back, thinking he relies on tricks. As they close in, they boast that they'll gladly finish him. But in a flash, the man in front simply disappears. Our hero pops up behind him, whispering, he was looking the wrong way. The disciple begs for his life, but his neck is already twisted. His stunned partner can only watch in silence. Snapping back to reality, he starts to curse at the protagonist, calling him a punk. But Kim interrupts by flicking some ketchup. With that motion, the man's head is no longer on his shoulders. With a cold look, Kim glances over. Seeing more enemies rush toward him, he says, "This is getting tedious." He's annoyed they'd underestimate him, seeing him as an easy mark. With blinding speed, Kim leaps at them, striking their vital points with perfect accuracy. He moves so quickly, he's just a blur zipping through the air. One of the disciples sees a terrifying figure rushing toward him. The blow is so powerful it smashes his face into the ground. The gunslinger then offers some advice, saying they should know their enemy before starting a fight. We then see the red-haired elder, whose head is being dunked in ketchup. He thinks the chaos is finally coming to an end. But suddenly, he senses an incoming attack and dodges just in time. He was lucky to avoid the blow. The impact was so strong, it completely shattered the ground. He gets to his feet, ready for a fight, declaring, "This is for our sect leader." Frowning, he shouts that sneak attacks are a sign of a coward. All at once, the fifth elder's vision begins to blur. A purple mist is clouding his mind. The ghost sword cult leader just laughs. Thinking the poison is weak, he prepares to strike, promising to send the elder to meet the cult's previous leader. But with a furious glare, the elder charges, blocking and deflecting the blow with his hand. Their energies collide, creating a massive shockwave. Our redhead realizes the poison is disrupting his internal arts. Kim watches the mayhem, wondering where his weapon is. Then, he spots a small shape running towards him. It's his pup, Mongu. Returning his weapon, he can't help but cheer for the little guy. The young gunslinger knows this fight will be hard without his gun. With just a few bullets left, he needs a plan. He can't let this enemy escape. Looking up, he notices something strange flying his way. The fifth elder falls to his knees, as the enemy leader boasts that the Great Blood of Death cult will finally be destroyed, giving him full control of the new cult. But he doesn't notice the chains wrapping around him. Suddenly, two figures attack, binding his neck in steel. The third elder drops from the sky like a predator. The ghost sword cult leader begs for his life, but is split in two by a single slash. The third elder says she wanted to show some courtesy, but the atmosphere felt wrong. For their first meeting, she introduces herself as Jin Huan, captain of the Bloodsteel group. Our hero watches her with a cold expression. She's odd, but might be more useful than the other elders. Drawing her dagger, she seems curious about the new leader's power. Her form blurs with incredible speed as she appears before him, eager to test the one who defeated the former leader. Kim is surprised by her powerful aura. The blade flashes near. She only meant to test him, but his swift reaction proves his victory wasn't just luck. Gripping her dagger tighter, she readies herself to attack again. As if reading her thoughts, our hero warns he won't go easy a second time. The elder realizes he holds the legendary weapon she has only heard stories about. She thinks it's no big deal and moves to test it, but then she freezes, feeling a strange pressure from him. It's as if destiny itself is warning her that the next move will be her last. Before her, the man radiates the aura of a demon king. Even the bald elder feels the immense pressure. The elder quickly composes herself and says, "The strongest must lead, so this test was necessary." Clasping her hands, she apologizes for her rude introduction. Our protagonist stays silent, simply thinking that this elder is a bit weird. In the distance, the giant with the fallen axe is still breathing. Clenching his fist, he wonders if he blacked out, admitting the power of the one. Who defeated him? With an icy glare. Kim looks over as someone calls him a bastard. It's the giant, smiling smugly, vowing his leader will destroy them and make them suffer. Looking down, he sees his fallen protector. He remembers being warned that this was a terrible idea, and now he knows. He finds the old leader's spirit, whose disapproval is crystal clear. As night falls, our protagonist swears he handled everything, but Destiny's next move is a total mystery. And you know there are going to be some insane moments on this quest. In this world, some guys can launch you into orbit with a single punch or crack the earth. If these monsters keep appearing, he's definitely next on the hit list. Kim just pets his cute puppy, silent. He then enters another room, looking for the bald elder. The elder appears with a strained smile, asking what the leader needs. Kim cuts straight to the point intel. He needs info on foes and potential friends. The elder, seeing he's serious, suggests a visit to the Howl clan. This name only piques Kim's curiosity. This particular group is composed of the underbelly of society. They gather secrets from everywhere and sell them for the right price. Kim gets it and asks for their location. The elder is hesitant to send him alone, but Kim needs to hear the truth with his own ears and make the call. The elder agrees to find an escort. Kim is fine with that, but he tells the elder to exclude the third elder. This confuses the old man, since she's the one who knows the outside world best. The redhead appears, and Kim calls her crazy. Soon after, the fifth elder offers to be his guide, surprising our main character, who promptly punches him in the ribs. The giant collapses, drooling from the blow. Kim warns him to leave his crew behind. Later, on a brightly lit street, we find a carriage. Inside, Kim travels with the fifth elder. He thinks he specifically asked them not to include this idiot. And why is Jin here at the elders' meeting? The first elder said the leader needs an Howl. Escort to the Howl clan. Immediately, the third and fifth elders volunteered, while the elder sighed, wondering why. It had to be them. The woman argues she's the obvious choice, knowing the outside world so well. The redhead fires back, claiming his place is always by the leader's side. Confused, Jin points out that his logic is trash. He's never even dared to visit the Howl clan, which just infuriates the big guy. They start squabbling, both desperate to join our protagonist. The elder just watches the chaos, completely lost. Meanwhile, Kim plots revenge on that bald elder for this mess. Quickly, the coachman notes the late hour, suggesting they stop for the night. The streets are alive with activity, and a man greets our protagonist. The redhead requests rooms for the night, along with some food and drinks. The host happily agrees, promising to bring everything they ordered right away. But suddenly, the door is kicked open like someone's making a grand, stupid entrance. It's a drunk from the so-called clan, looking for booze and a bed. He demands they find him a room, even if they have to kick someone out. The innkeeper explains the last rooms were just taken by the newcomers. The drunk, not recognizing the owner, tells him to get lost. Then he spots someone in our hero's group. It's the beautiful third elder. With a lecherous smirk, he asks where. She's from, boasting that he's a disciple of the great Kunlo clan. He insists she shouldn't be with such lowlifes and suggests she spend the night with him instead. The fifth elder, annoyed, wants the young master to act, but recalls their earlier argument being interrupted by a tea master. The man had warned them to escort the leader without causing a scene. Shaking with anger, the fifth elder threatens to leave. The arrogant disciple just smirks, asking why they're so worked up. But a powerful kick to the family jewels sends him stumbling backward. Our protagonist looks down on him with pure disdain. The disciple snarls, questioning how he could dare, and swears he won't hold back. But a swift kick to the chin sends his dinner flying. It was our hero who struck like a soccer star scoring a goal. In a cold voice, he dares him to call his friends. He'll be waiting. Then he yells, asking where the food is because he's starving desperate. The redhead knows he is in deep trouble, while he stays frozen and tense. The third elder watches, knowing she couldn't prevent this chaos. The arrogant disciple's friends move in, weapons ready, but the woman hurls a dagger in their direction. The blade sinks deep into one of the disciple's chests. His friend screams about the knife, turning to the elder to call her a coward. But he can't finish the insult. A swift kick connects with his head, silencing him. The third elder lands gracefully. With fluid grace, she plants a kick on the man's collarbone. His head snaps back. She lands perfectly, then signals her hidden crew. Two shadows emerge from the dark. They ask if the captain called them. She says they have work to do. They'll keep the men alive, then drug them. Use a memory-wiping drug, then leave them in a bar with some company. After that, she will give new orders. Her tone shifts.
She must see the cult leader.
He wonders if she's targeting him again. The three sit under a glaring light. She asks if he knew those guys. He denies it. They were disciples of Clan, from the Murmur Alliance, who've caused trouble before. If this leaks, that nightmare returns. She refuses to lose her cult, her family, again. The protagonist remains silent, thinking. A memory of his family surfaces. A photo from a rundown orphanage. The conditions were awful. She insists they must avoid the Murim Alliance. With grim resolve, he promises to remember. The fifth elder is visibly surprised. It's rare for the leader to agree so fast. He asks if the Howl clan is with Murim. She says no, noting his fatigue, but stresses caution and assigns his protection. The fifth elder will guard him. The redhead asks where she's going. She'll handle the evidence. To make sure the proof vanishes, she leaves, wishing him a safe trip. Later, the elder calls out for the leader, saying they've arrived. The main character jokes they took forever. He enters the territory of the Howl clan. A weathered man asks how he can help. He mentions the secret key. Hearing it, the man sells them some special liquor. He then pulls a hidden lever, inviting them to follow him. They're met by the Howl clan's host, the provincial manager. He finds the Mongu clan pitiful. Once great, but now a total mess. He decides being polite would be foolish. With a cocky tone, he asks what they want. The elder fumes at his open arrogance. The main character ignores it, playing dumb. The manager smirks, pointing out the slight. He boasts he's an expert with his kind, then mocks him about his vibe. The elder bristles, knowing he's being dismissed. But the protagonist just smiles, then erupts into laughter. The manager joins in, misreading the room. They both howl with laughter, but the manager's smile dies. He says this is pointless and that he is out. The protagonist asks his ally if the clan is tied to Murim. Getting a no, he points at the arrogant host and tells the fifth elder to act. The redhead unleashes a tiger punch, smashing the man right in the face. The impact sends him flying through several doors. Deep underground, the protagonist says the man wasn't wrong to laugh. A cult leader showed up, personally, and deserved some respect. He faces the old man, assuming he's the real boss. The elder thought Kim acted rashly, not realizing the old man was the true manager. The startled man calls out for the manager, who is, in fact, the real one. The fifth elder looks utterly baffled. The protagonist realizes his error and chuckles, amused by his wild imagination. From a distance, a masked man observes. With a strange technique, he vanishes like mist. Another person on the roof asks where the Mongu clan's leader is. He's at the Howl clan in Branch Province with the fifth elder, but they ran into the Kun clan's disciples. A powerful figure is enraged, declaring, "This can't slide," and sends a message to the clan. They're coming for a slow and painful showdown. Biting his lip, the owner is furious that they dared to interfere with him and vows he'll never let this go. The protagonist interrupts. That is enough. He tells him to sit down. The leader retorts that he better sit or he'll be put down. Soon, the man, now clean, asks what. He drags a clan elder to this dive. Our hero wants the scoop on the Murim Alliance's shady dealings, and the man agrees, saying he's found the right place. He asks if there's anything else. Our hero wonders if there are any factions that could boost their power. The man raises an eyebrow, asking if he plans on starting a war. The protagonist asks coldly if he has to spell it out. The manager just says nah, then reveals that this information is pure gold, costing at least $2,000. He knows it's steep, but it keeps the Etiennes riffraff satisfied. Kim shares some wisdom with his ally. Nothing matters when death is on the line, and the redhead understands instantly, confused. The manager asks what they're planning, offering the elder a lower price, but the elder warns he'll live in misery and lose a limb. Kim gives him props for catching on fast. The manager sweats, saying he can't just give the info away for free. The protagonist replies that nobody mentioned getting it for free. They'll make a trade. Relieved, the man asks what he's getting. Our hero rubs his hands, saying he looks like a kid waiting for a Christmas present. So, our gunslinger will be Santa, offering the gift of life in exchange for the intel. The guy, tearing up, asks who Santa Claus is, and what Christmas even is. Our hero says, since we have a deal, he urgently needs the information. The man thinks he's worse than a demon, but agrees to send intel on the keys. Murim Alliance. But he'll need to find groups to help the Mongu clan, which will take some time. For that, our hero asks how long. The man says about 30 days, but that's cut down to 1 week. Kim gives him just enough time for the goods. The informant then asks if he can share intel on the Kunlun clan. He explains this sect is in the Taoist Alliance, residing atop a massive, snowy mountain. Reaching it is no easy task. As a secretive sect, little is known. But they joined the Nine, great sects because they're a small elite group with immense power. For some unknown reason, after the war with the Blood Cult, all their disciples were sent down the mountain. Our hero, thinking figures, As a small elite group, they likely eliminated any disrespectful members. He wonders if the higher-ups simply lost interest in weaker disciples. The informant nods, confirming that theory. Our hero ponders if this is a blessing or a curse, then orders him to send the remaining info directly to the Mongu clan. But before leaving, he asks what their relationship is now. The man, quickly, says they're just business partners, which seems to offend our hero. He explains that where he comes from, when two people fight, they become friends. So he asks again what their relationship is. At that moment, gripping the man's shoulder, the tension is thick. The man feels like he's being cornered, while his supposed ally just watches. He finally says they're allies. Our hero turns, saying since they're friends, he must be ready to sacrifice his life for him, to live for him. The man tenses up as he realizes he's just made a deal with the devil. But our hero, in a calm tone, says he'll be under his care after all. They're practically brothers now. We then see the carriage heading back to the clan. Our protagonist asks if the third elder is still around. The answer is probably yes, since she often ghosts. Everyone with her messages? Suddenly, something speeds past, making the horses freak out as if they just saw a ghost. The redhead shouts, asking what's happening. It turns out to be a member of the third elder's squad. He apologizes, saying they blocked the street for an emergency, and that he needs to return to the Mongu clan for his own safety. Our protagonist understood what Vice Leader Yan Nanook of the Blood Chain team said. Arriving at the clan, he asks who those people were. A letter reveals the Black Blood sect is about to visit, so they must prepare for a showdown. The bald elder asks if he's already heard of this sect, but our hero tells him to be brief and give the details. This group is shrouded in rumors and infamous for being a brutal organization. They earn money through assassinations and never hesitate to commit brutal acts. Age, gender, or belief don't matter, only the money. After the explanation, we see Kim, deep in thought, likely planning his next move. The bald man says they don't follow the rules, so they likely sent the letter while planning to ambush him later. But not to worry, he has a plan. That night, the guards spot someone approaching. One guard points his spear, ordering them to halt or face the consequences. The figure moves. Don't take another step. The warning was clear. The elder's orders if a sketchy person appears. Attack without question. A command the disciple follows instantly. But the real threat lurked behind him. Trouble was brewing. He found a grim scene of fallen warriors. A flicker of movement to his side arrows. They flew straight for him, but they struck only empty air as he vanished. The archer looked up. Stunned. There. The intruder tossed a small orb, a smoke bomb, with his vision completely clouded. The disciple was blind. He's gone. The target was lost. Soon, word spread like wildfire, an intruder had breached the walls. The fifth and third elders sensed a shift in the air. Just then, an assassin sauntered through the front gate, utterly fearless. The man on the throne radiated immense power. Then, the great doors creaked open behind him. He scoffed. I expected an army, but you sent just one. What a massive disappointment. I'll hear him out first, the leader declared. But it was the third elder in disguise, demanding answers. Why are you here? The man turned, looking both curious and confused. He then began patting down the elder's robes, searching for some hidden toy. That's when our hero emerged from the shadows. An assassin, he whispered. Never lets his guard down. With that, he showed him how a real strike is done. Mercy is for the weak. As he attacked, elders rushed in, shouting for their cult leader. Are you unharmed? The first elder just laughed. It all went exactly as I calculated. Of course it did. I'm just that brilliant, he boasted. We had to act first. The others praised his decisive and daring strategy. But the third elder spotted something strange. She moved toward the fallen body. There's something here, she noted. The first elder warned of poison, but she paid it no mind. It isn't a vial, she declared. It's a message. A letter from the leader of the Black Blood sect. He introduced himself, offering deep respect, and with it, a necklace symbolizing trust between them. The horrific truth crashed down. She ripped the cord from her neck, utterly baffled, as were the others. The first elder's face was a mask of sheer terror. The magnitude of their blunder filled the room. A heavy silence descended. Our protagonist, pale as a sheet, turned to the one who caused this. This was all part of your genius plan, correct? The bald elder knew he had messed up on a legendary scale. Master, please listen, he begged. The intruder created chaos. He attacked our disciples. Our response was justified, he yelled. But then, the unconscious guards started to stir. They got up smiling. Is everything all right? The elder froze. The invader hadn't killed a single man. This made his catastrophic failure even worse. An emergency meeting was called. The second elder warned. If this leaks, the Murim Alliance will discover our ambitions. It will ruin our plans for conquest. The third elder insisted they must apologize immediately.
Apologize? The redhead slammed the table. To that pathetic sect? The room erupted into arguments.
Factions clashed with heated words. Then, the bald elder slowly raised his hand, desperate to speak. He tried to propose an idea born from this very disaster. Speak, our hero said, but be ready for the price. The elder's face went white, feeling the chilling intent from our hero's blade. He glared. The young leader then raised his own weapon. This should solve it. The elder was completely lost. What are you even talking about? With a wicked grin, our hero said, I'll take all the blame for this. How is that possible? The protagonist shrugged. That's not my problem. Your job is to go and beg. Do whatever it takes to fix your mess. The bald man was stunned into silence. Now, arriving at the enemy base, he could only curse the protagonist's name. His men confirmed their arrival at a grand estate. A disciple watched from a rooftop, giving a secret signal. And with that, the gates to his personal hell swung open. The elder walked forward, the world slowing to a crawl. Everyone wore masks. The vibe was beyond creepy. A masked guard stated, Our master is waiting. He saw a long line of followers waiting for an audience. As the door opened, the leader greeted him. I just sent the letter, he said. I didn't expect a visit so quickly. He introduced himself as the head. The Black Blood cult. Noting he had prepared for this meeting, hoping to fix things, he suggested. The elder tried to relax after the long trip. Soon, the bald man chuckles, admitting he was caught off guard, blaming the stress from his boss. Just the thought of that man makes the elder's face flush as his friend tells him to cool it, saying he's getting tipsy. The bearded man retorts that he's just a kid and should keep out of grown-up business. Suddenly, the cult leader asks why the messenger hasn't returned. Feeling the heat, the elder admits there was an incident on the bridge to the Mongu clan, and despite their efforts, they failed to save him. Swallowing nervously, he adds the real tragedy was the death of his most valued disciple. The leader remains silent, showing no emotion. The elder's fists tighten, fearing for his life, unable to read the man behind the mask. But the leader simply laughs, saying there's no need to apologize. Over some random guy. Feeling brave, the bald man agrees, misreading the gesture. The masked figure rises and
Asks if the necklace reached the master's neck. With a smirk, the bald man confirms it, saying he adored the
present, staring outside. The leader removes his mask, a wicked grin on his face. He claims his man is better. Off dead, but he wishes he could have met the master, to apologize for what's coming. Confused, the elder, feeling more at ease, asks for his meaning. With a smirk, the cult leader says they are now equals, since his precious man is dead. The cult just lost its powerful master, leaving the bald elder completely stunned. He reveals that the necklace contained a poisonous candle, both odorless and colorless. If anyone stays in the same room for too long, the toxin seeps in, causing paralysis after a day. Eventually, death claims anyone who can't move. The grave reality hits the elder hard, knowing his master has the necklace. He shouts, demanding how the man could do something so twisted. The leader coolly replies he's done nothing, and if the old man is mad, he should just die. Calmly, the elder says dwelling on it will only cause more pain. He thinks of leaving, but the leader stops him, confused and afraid. The bearded man asks if he has more to say. The leader insists he can't be left alive, as the old man could reveal everything at any moment. Terrified, the elder screams that they killed his superior, who deserved it, and that he is now on their side. He yells, asking why his bodyguards are just standing there, looking at the man who is meant to protect him. He calls him an idiot, more scared than the boss himself. We flash back to the elder, begging his leader for his life, certain that if it were him, he'd be finished. But our guy tells the old man not to. Worry, confusing him completely. He promises to send the greatest bodyguard he knows for a next-level plan. Back in the present, the elder curses his luck with this useless bodyguard, certain this is the end. With a desperate plea, he begs for his life. As the blade nears, someone begins to laugh, clearly amused by the whole scene. It is the other bodyguard, remarking that nothing has changed. He's lost in memories of his prime. He removes his mask, revealing his real face and dropping some wisdom from the ladies. His unique aura gives hope to the shocked bald man. The cult leader is absolutely stunned to see this person, demanding to know how he got here. The newcomer strolls forward, asking why he never spends his money. The answer is simple. He aims a gun at his foe. He adds, no one gives such expensive gifts without expecting a return. Before this mayhem, we see the second elder at the master's door, who lets him inside. He rubs his hands, asking if he can inspect the strange necklace Kim received. Our main character agrees. Though he doesn't see the point, he just warns him that his little dog is playing with it. When the man examines the necklace, he checks it
closely and sees he was right. Tucked inside is an ultra-poisonous candle, our main character.
His face draining of color, realizes it was never a gift. The second elder confirms the first was correct. Our hero jumps up,
terrified that his small dog is in danger from the necklace. But the bearded man reassures him, saying the pup wasn't
exposed for very long. It may take time to recover, as the poison is unknown, understanding the threat.
Our hero declares he'll eliminate everyone who dared to trick him. But the long-haired man
sees he's lost in rage, warning him not to be reckless. Given the stakes, he says it's too dangerous. The second elder then suggests a strategy. The bald man screams with joy, thinking our hero is alive and he is now safe. But Kim, with pure disgust, orders him to get out immediately, terrifying him. The assassin scoffs, thinking he'd fall for a simple poison. But now his foe will regret ever showing up. With a vicious grin, he declares he will.
To die from the poison. Our hero scoffs, calling his confidence ridiculous.
There's no need for hype. He adds that his little toy could end him at any moment. The ninja, seeing no weapon, thinks he'll have no time. Many have faced this secret art, but none have survived to speak of it. The pressure builds, making water in the basins vibrate. This is the black blood sect's ultimate move.
Constant rain. He prepares one final slash to end this. But in a flash, a bullet
zips right through his forehead, dropping him instantly. Pure confusion fills his eyes as his body starts to fall. Our hero claims his own secret technique is just as fatal. Many have seen it, but none survived. It's a bond they now share, and he's not sorry about it. Suddenly, our man notices something and glances toward the entrance. Soon, he hears footsteps approaching, all armed and ready to avenge their fallen leader. He's used to this kind of chaos and warns that those wanting a painful death should stay. Close to his gun, they immediately charge forward, and one by one, they're met with gunfire to save ammo. He also draws a blade, making blood spray from his targets. He's a master of this combat style, parrying strikes while returning fire, exploiting an opening. He finds a path to escape, carving his way through the men trying to stop him. He moves like a viper, landing shots and precise cuts into his enemy's vital points. The bald man hears the chaos, assuming our hero is some kind of martial arts monster. After minutes, our man stands among the bodies, but as he looks around, all he can think is, this is incredibly strange. In the past, he fought one-on-one, but facing a whole
squad at once. That was almost unheard of. Still, there was a simple method to win. Take out one to terrify
the others. After that, the wolf pack will fear a single sheep. He tries to decide who to eliminate. To make that happen, with few bullets remaining, he has to be smart. As he watches, an insane pressure fills the air, making him tremble with unease. Suddenly, an explosion erupts, kicking up dust everywhere. We see someone slam the table, clearly annoyed. It's the third elder, saying their lord better be strong, or he is finished. The second elder adds there's no need to worry, which only confuses the woman. Even more, the man sips his tea, hearing he must take someone with him. But he prefers a chill vibe, saying even if his combat skills are lacking, his wits tell him that even brawn needs backup. The fifth elder storms in and asks if our guy is okay. The gunslinger wonders how he got here, then hears the question about the blood on his face. He quickly replies it's not his, which enrages the brute even more. He roars that they can apologize in the afterlife. Hearing this, our protagonist calls him a fool for coming alone, but the elder just laughs it off. The next moment, a fist smashes into a ninja's face, shattering his mask. The assassin is sent flying into a door, spinning from the blow. The newcomer's fist seems to burn with immense power. Someone ties a chikases bandana on their head, joining the fifth elder's group as they roll in like a squad, carrying unconscious people. The fifth elder says he has an entire unit. For the first time, our protagonist thinks he
truly enjoyed himself, and warns his revenge is complete. He orders them to wipe out the rest, getting
a firm yes in reply. The redhead lands a powerful kick on a thug, sending him flying. With swift steps, he pursues. The next man, gearing up for a mighty punch. He finishes by slamming the one who attacked his leader straight into the floor. The other assassins just stare at the elder, who's radiating a fearsome demonic aura. He asks why. They're just standing there, moving in. He attacks and questions why they don't fight back. After dropping the first, he fires a second kick at the next foe, Who gets demolished? The third doesn't even see the fluid, motion that strikes him from all sides. This man is a beast, hunting the others down like prey. His presence is dark, casting a heavy shadow. Every punch lands with crushing force, as if he's flying while he takes out everyone in his way. The gunslinger just watches, utterly stunned. Amidst the sea of bodies, he can only think that he's actually quite useful. Then the bald man speaks up, asking for a moment. He tells the cult leader to look. Behind him, an enemy is coming. But in a flash, our hero ends him, spilling blood and asking why. He was even called. The others are trapped by the Fifth Elder's combat team. The redhead asks what to do with them. It's simple. They dared to aim blades at their leader. Not even death is an escape for such fools. Leaning back, the gunslinger smirks. Their fighting spirit is impressive, and it'd be epic to have one of them on his side. But then, something catches his eye. His slow advance draws the gaze of the Hais, Fifth Elder, who questions his move. He glides toward a figure that looks like a child. The kid's shaky. Hands scream absolute terror. Without hesitation, our hero yanks off the mask, revealing a shawujat, sobbing, terrified child. The sight ignites a cold fury within him. A painful memory surfaces. The orphanage, as a beggar who lost his coins. An adult sneered, saying he didn't look pathetic enough to deserve them. The brute threatened to break his leg if he didn't beg harder. As a scrawny kid, he could only promise he'd do better and apologize. Back in the present, he gently kneels before the girl. He asks if there are any other children her age. She quickly shakes her head, denying it. As he stands, one of the goons calls her an idiot for forgetting her mission. He screams at her to eliminate the main character, but the gunslinger ends the interruption with a single bullet to the head. Kim, with surprising gentleness,
tells the girl to just keep her eyes shut. He sighs, disgusted by cowards who arm children with knives,
and send them to their deaths. His glare is ice as he wonders if they even remember how to be human. Taking her hand, he orders the Fifth Elder to clean up this mess. He's taking the girl with him. His final command is chilling. Eliminate the rest brutally, if possible. Burn them all alive. A short while later,
we find our protagonist relaxing in his carriage. The little girl is being escorted by some tough-looking men.
The redhead smirks. So the terrifying cult leader has a soft spot. He glances over at the child and
calls her closer, a faint smile on his face. He asks her name. Terrified, the poor girl just starts to sob.
Looking completely bewildered, the Fifth Elder quickly apologizes. Seeing his leader's protective instincts flare up, Kim simply reassures the child, telling her not to worry. He says she can just sit back and relax. The girl fidgets, thanking him for her rescue, but insists she won't be very useful to them. With sudden courage, she promises to do anything asked of her. Our protagonist simply says he saved her, but that doesn't mean she owes him her life. He throws her a curveball, asking what she believes she should do. The little assassins answer, "Just play. That's what kids are for. Eat well and do whatever it takes to make the adults who protect them happy." Arriving at the cult's base, the elders call out for their leader. They rush over, asking if he's been injured. "Nah, I'm fine," he replies coolly. Then the third elder spots the little girl and waves her over. Charmed by her cuteness, he decides to ask a small favor. He'll be staying for a while, so the elder should prepare a cozy room for the child. Suddenly, the protagonist's adorable puppy trots over and completely ignores him. What's with the cold shoulder? Unfazed, the tiny dog stops before the young girl, who is captivated by its charm. She slowly reaches out her hand to the furball, smiling as it licks her fingers. Our hero chuckles at the sight, while everyone else is just stunned by this glimpse of his softer side. He rubs his shoulder, deciding the third elder can watch the girl while he gets some rest. But first, her name. She explains she is number 121 from the Black Blood Cult. They don't receive names. The gunslinger pauses, then makes a proposal. From this day forward, her name is Haru. The name echoes with a simple beauty. It's just Haru. He tells her to live freely here. In her mind, she's in a field of white, crying tears of joy. She vows to live happily. Kim can't help but smile. But the moment is broken by the second elder, with an urgent letter from the Hao clan that needs to be read. Unfurling the scroll, he summons the fifth elder. It's time to prepare for a long journey to find a Sanas new shield of flesh. In a dim room, he calmly reads the scroll from Manji, chief of the Haman province. It mentions the 36 masters of the forest, rivals of the Mongu sect. These guys are a real pain. Their numbers are massive. 36 families, over 100 masters. They're a force, including Eugene Yak, one of the continent's top masters. It's a tough call, but getting them on his side would be a huge advantage. He collapses onto his bed, mulling over his next move, before finally drifting off. Before long, a voice calls for the master at dawn. It's the fifth elder, with the kid, reporting the journey prep is complete. He offers a morning greeting. Our protagonist slaps the giant across the face. He sits up, grumbling he didn't get any sleep, too excited for their trip. He sees the kid and asks why she's there. She glances at the elder to answer. The old man says he just wanted to see the master's face. Ignoring him, Kim asks if they're all set. The answer is a loud yes. The elder reveals a strange cloak, prepared for this exact moment. The protagonist, scrunching his face, calls it a fairy tale costume. The girl thinks it's amazing, hyping up the protagonist and the big guy. After a beat, Kim decides to wear it, and it fits him perfectly, matching his powerful vibe. The brute roars with delight, seeing the awesome cloak on our hero, and the kid chimes in with her own praise. He then strides ahead, telling them to pick up the pace. The little girl calls out to the leader, who asks what's wrong. She says she played hard while he slept and warns him to be careful. The gunslinger says that's great and tells her to keep playing. When they arrive at the carriage, he notes the late hour and all the luggage, since it's only the two of them. Then, the third elder appears, announcing she's joining them for this epic journey. Kim asks why she is coming along. She replies that she knows the path well and can help them avoid any trouble. The guy thinks 3 is better than 1, but then sees her incredibly flashy outfit. She just nods, confirming her choice. He mutters it's a bit much, which clearly annoys her. A bit later, everyone's in the carriage. He asks if they're on the right path. The redhead says they can't. Go straight with the second commander's base so close. The protagonist suggests meeting the top boss, but the elder says none of them know him well. So it's better to show up at the second commander's unannounced. Soon, our hero asks what the commander is like. The elder just says they will find out. Together, the horse tires from the long journey. He asks what's wrong, and the answer is, they've been talking too much. The elder suggests camping for the night and eating dinner, after a bit. The elder asks if the food is good for the master. He replies, yeah, it's bomb. Then, nearby bushes start to rustle. The third and fifth elders go on high alert. A woman appears, apologizing and begging for food, because she's starving. The third elder crosses her arms, feeling a bad vibe. This girl, with her powerful build, has a stomach growling loudly. She mumbles that it's rude to deny food, but judging by her state, she must be a fugitive, so it's best not to get involved. The blonde apologizes, saying she will just eat quickly and then leave. She notes the camp is nice, and our hero wonders if she's crazy. The girl introduces herself as Song, vowing to repay the meal. The elder tells her to forget about that and to scram if she's done, since things could get dicey. She apologizes again and agrees to leave. Fast. She wishes them a good dinner as she goes. They realize she left in a hurry because she ate everything. The elder sighs she'll cook more and tells the master to rest in the carriage, which he does. As he reaches the door, he hears approaching horse hooves. Looking back, he spots a squad of soldiers arriving. A bearded man holds up a wanted poster and asks if he has seen this woman. Our hero recognizes the blonde from the flyer. He immediately thinks they are not good, people from their rude language, and considers stepping in. But then he sighs and decides to let it go to avoid the drama. He turns and says he doesn't know her, trying to wrap things up by saying he's tired and wants to be left alone. Shockingly, the soldier gets furious, veins popping on. His face, he snarls, asking if this punk knows who he is and if he's asking for trouble. Our protagonist, now annoyed, fires back. Do you know who I am? But a new voice cuts in, saying they have never seen her. It's the third elder who appears, telling them to part ways and not invade their space if the guards don't back off now. They'll face a rain of blood they definitely won't survive. The guard, sensing the intense pressure, gulps hard. He says fine, but now they have to check the carriage. The woman looks at her leader for permission. Our protagonist claims he hasn't seen her, but sensing something is wrong, he agrees to show them inside. He opens the door. Silence falls. Then a rustling sound. It's the blonde girl. She realizes her timing is bad, claiming she was just being careful. With a small giggle, she says she wasn't planning to stay, but fails to mention where she was headed, leaving our hero model. He's stunned. This guy, oozing suspicion, wonders why she hasn't bolted yet. The guard interrupts, scoffing at their claim of diplomatic immunity. He saw this coming and never trusted these outsiders. To him, this is clearly an invasion. Drawing his sword, he declares them trespassers on their land. Then he roars, ordering his men to seize them immediately. The others begin to advance on our protagonist with hostile intent, their eyes locked on the blonde. Our hero casually checks his gear, muttering, "Nothing else matters now. It's time for some fun." With a smirk, he states they can't escape this. The third elder tries to plead for one last discussion, but our hero cuts him off. It's too late for talk. Then, a heavy presence descends. Between them, it's the fifth elder, who remarks, "You're all making too much noise." Glaring, he asks who they think. They're drawing their swords against... Our protagonist greets the fifth elder, who returns a grin. They both decide to finish this, sporting identical, unnerving smiles. The redhead charges at one of the men. He tries to explain they only wanted the woman, not a fight, but is silenced by the fifth elder's boots smashing into his face, taking advantage of the chaos. He grabs a horse's saddle to prepare his next move. Leaping up, he uses the horse's motion to grab another man's head, a psychotic grin hidden by his dark aura. The general
realizes these lunatics are causing mayhem and must escape to get backup for his men. The fifth
elder's rage intensifies, seeing him flee and abandon his squad. At that moment, a flash of light zips past. The bearded man smirks, calling them fools for not watching their enemies. He claims that once he reaches the summit, he'll end this chaos. But before he can finish, a bullet pierces his skull. The horse stops cold. Its rider tumbles off, spilling crimson everywhere. Our protagonist is completely serious, his gun still smoking. The third elder warns that was a reckless move. Attacking a military officer is trouble. Even martial artists understand this could ruin their world. But our hero just grins, asking what they supposedly did. He shares a saying from his home. If there are no witnesses, it never happened. So they were there, but also not.
And the woman finds this logic surprisingly persuasive. Soon, the boy claims he's found a direct route to the general,
telling her to look at the paper. As she leans in, she's confused about what to look for, until she sees a peculiar note about the 36 acres of forest. The blonde asks what happened, as she's never seen anything like that before. The third elder then realizes she is the general's daughter. She explains that the officer with her was suddenly eliminated, and the boy advises her to stay quiet about it. The girl thanks him, promising she'll never
forget this kindness and will repay him. But our protagonist says she needn't bother, which puzzles her.
Startled, the girl hears him ask to meet her father, and thinks the gunslinger is into men. When they
arrive at their destination, the blonde says her people will guide them. The protagonist looks around, thinking that people actually live in such harsh conditions. Suddenly, two individuals approach, asking if she knows how far.
She wandered off. With a charming laugh, she apologizes, explaining she wanted a little adventure. The woman asks about her companions, and the blonde says they just saved her life, which makes the 36 Acres crew relieved. They thank them for protecting the young mistress, but freeze when they hear the request to meet her father, sharing worried looks. They know letting strangers in could be a disaster. The beggar, however, says there's no need to worry because her companions are solid. She steps forward, asking to be led to her father. The fifth elder is completely amazed by the sheer scale of the place. Before long, they reach the spot they were directed to. Our protagonist wonders at the immense entrance. The hall doors open, and they all walk in, like they own the place. He feels the pressure from a voice that says he heard his daughter was saved by him, but he is curious why. The gunslinger wonders where the voice came from, seeing no one around. From behind, him, the blonde chimes in that their search was for nothing. Our protagonist takes in the scene and considers how one man can be so intimidating. The third elder introduces herself, saying the man is the leader of the Mongu clan, a name she's heard of. With powerful strides, the leader approaches, saying curiosity brought him. Once seated, he challenges that, demanding their real reason for visiting. Our protagonist shrugs it off, saying it's nothing huge, just a plan to fight the Murim alliance and he needs a meat shield. Or some backup. He then declares his ambition to rule the martial arts world. The old man just laughs, leaving our protagonist scratching his head. He reeled at the giant's booming voice. The man disliked the Mim alliance, but questioned helping a stranger who had no connections. Suddenly, an aide stepped forward to deliver some forgotten news, whispering urgent info. Our hero was confused until the giant grunted his approval. His eyes lit up. Now that's what I call truly great news. The massive man rose, his heavy footsteps shaking the floor. Our hero felt the giant's crushing aura as they stood face to face. Kim leapt back, instinctively reaching for his weapon. He thought it was a trap, but no, just a friendly handshake. No need to be so tense, the giant chuckled. Suddenly, the blonde's true motive became clear. He offered his daughter's hand in marriage, hassle-free. The old man declared he'd see them wed. Seeing the protagonist's stunned silence, He assumed the boy wasn't interested in his daughter. Our gunslinger, ever the stoic, gave a classic, vulgar reply. It was a clear no, but the culturally clueless man just blinked. So, is that a yes? The third elder slapped a hand over his mouth, cutting off a wild retort. She suggested they talk privately. This wasn't an easy choice. Seeing the marriage alliance at stake, the old man granted them an hour to decide. The group sat in tense silence. The redhead broke into a cold sweat under the pressure, glancing nervously at his brother. The elder asked the master his thoughts. He replied that he couldn't possibly marry a total stranger. The third elder found this absurd, but they needed the power of Nokrim and decided to take charge. Just then, an alert chimed, grabbing our hero's attention. He opened his phone to a new notification, an alliance with the 36 houses of Nokrim. A serious look crossed his face. The elder promised to handle it, but he cut her off with a grin. Don't worry, I have a better idea. He stood confidently, calling a friend, ready to solve this his way. The trio then faced the giant once more, to give their answer. The blonde asked for his decision. Our hero replied he couldn't marry the girl, the general's daughter. Is she not good enough for you? The man boomed. The protagonist shook his head. It wasn't that shallow. He changed tactics, suggesting a different kind of bond. He proposed they become sworn brothers. The old man looked baffled. You really want that? Our hero nodded. The giant just laughed, calling the boy unpredictable. But he wasn't interested, not without proof of equal standing. He wondered if the Mongu clan's leader could truly match him. Our hero had a simple solution, a wager to prove his worth. The general, now intrigued, asked what game he had in mind. The protagonist explained it was called Capture. The flag. 2 teams clashed to seize the other's banner. If his team won, they'd become sworn brothers and have each other's backs. If they lost, he'd grant any wish, even on a draw. The general considered it. He couldn't rush such a judgment. What's the matter? Are you scared? Our hero taunted. The giant, now provoked, accepted the bet, with a twist. If he won, our hero had to marry his daughter and officially join the family. Seeing his face fall, the giant mocked, scared of marriage now. And so, the game began. We see our hero's crew guarding their flag. He'd mistaken the general for a wild bear, but it turned out he was more of a sly fox. Now he was all in. He had to win this, no matter the cost. The bet was about capturing, not just defense. That monster would likely come for their flag himself. Kim wondered how long the 5th elder could possibly hold off that giant. The redhead calculated. Maybe 15 minutes, in a fight to the death. Our protagonist was floored. The giant's strength was so immense. The 5th elder stood no chance. He realized the only way was to seize their flag within 15 minutes. Kim signaled his comrade, who rushed over. He explained that when the signal blared, she had to sprint for the flag, dodge everyone, evade at all costs. He would clear a path, taking on any enemies in her way. And then, the signal blasted through the air. A loud horn blared. Kim yelled to the 3rd elder, "Run as fast as you can!" She took off like a bullet, leaving the 2 men behind. Kim shouted to the 5th elder, "Hold on as long as possible, even if it costs you everything." The man understood and readied himself. Kim sprinted off, thinking he was close, but it was far too quiet. He was on the right path. Suddenly, his instincts screamed danger. Something was wrong. As a precaution, he took cover behind a tree. Looking ahead, he realized he was completely alone. While the other 3 had moved on, seizing the opening, he bolted for the enemy flag, only to realize it was a terrible mistake. The 3rd elder went missing and walked right into an ambush. The blonde appears from nowhere, stunning Kim. Kim moves to react, but a colossal hand smashes into his chest. The impact sends a devastating shockwave. A blast of energy launches him backward. He smashes into a tree, his spine screaming in protest. The blonde scoffs, his high hopes for Kim's skills utterly shattered. He mockingly apologizes for the inconvenience. He'll just have to find entertainment elsewhere. Kim knows this man is the biggest threat he's ever faced. With the fun over, the giant decides to leave. He'll just go and find the others himself. Kim begs him to stay, shouting the real party hasn't started. But without his weapon, he's in deep trouble. He's toast against this titan, and aiming with a bloodied eye is nearly impossible. The blonde smirks. Is this the Mongu clan's secret art, he taunts? Some kind of pathetic activation requirement? Just then, a sound draws their attention. The giant holds the 3rd elder's head, caught in a sneak attack. He crushes her skull until it bleeds, asking if she truly thought she had a chance. With a vice-like grip, the behemoth declares her skills were too weak to even scratch him. Her defiance only amuses him. He squeezes harder. Kim feels his ribs crack, knowing he must get up and help his comrade. Suddenly, the The fifth elder arrives. He lands a massive punch on the general, making him spit crimson. The blow kicks up a storm of dust. The fifth elder grins, surprised to find such a powerful foe here. Leader Elder. Are you all right? The redhead shouts. Kim, confused, immediately asks about the flag. The elder admits he followed the sound, worried for his leader. This answer infuriates our main character. He panics, realizing they're now unprotected. Should he risk taking another shot at this monster? The blonde remarks that the flag is safe, since he came alone. This revelation shocks the protagonist. This giant trusts his own power over any strategy. But the redhead declares that arrogance will be his downfall. No matter how strong you are, you can't win alone. He charges, his speed increasing with every step. You will be the cause of your leader's defeat. The blonde scoffs, calling that line of thinking idiotic. He suggests they settle this like real men with their fists. The redhead eagerly accepts the challenge. The elder winds up a colossal punch, shattering the wall beside him. But the blonde only laughs mockingly. That pathetic display couldn't possibly satisfy his battle lust. A fist sinks deep into the redhead's gut. He struggles to stay conscious, hair flying wildly. The redhead spits a mouthful of ketchup, but his eyes burn. His gaze, filled with fiery determination, locks on. He unleashes a vicious kick to the giant's chin. Shrugging off the blow, he keeps charging forward, landing another solid punch on the demonic beast. Like a true martial master, the giant stands his ground. Both are at their peak. A warrior's respect between them. Their blows create visible shockwaves that echo for miles. The sheer power is overwhelming. The elder realizes this isn't a fight he can win. He starts sweating. Two fists suddenly fly toward his head. He hits the ground, spitting more ketchup. The giant looms over him, declaring this is still not enough. Get up, don't ruin the respect I have for you. Show me everything you've got. But then, a sharp crack. A loud bang echoes, and a searing pain hits his leg. A bullet has pierced his thigh. A rookie mistake. Turning your back on an armed opponent. The giant admits he underestimated the boy. The elder laughs. His master's secret weapon actually worked. The blonde calls it a mysterious art, attacking from a distance, attacking without even moving. But despite its power, the blow wasn't crippling. The kid still can't move. He still can't reach the flag. Our hero scratches his head with his gun. This blonde guy is an absolute monster, seemingly unbeatable. But even the hardest stone will crack if you strike the same spot repeatedly. If he keeps aiming for that one weak point, even this unbreakable mountain will eventually crumble. The giant doesn't grasp the analogy. He uses his wounded leg to stand and charges, challenging the gunman. Let me show you, old man, our hero declares. He fires a volley of shots at the charging brute. If I hit that same spot with enough force, he explains, it's game over for you. The blonde falters. He feels his leg give way and collapses to the ground, ketchup pouring from the wound. Kim acts fast. He screams at the fifth elder to run for the flag. The blonde finally realizes he gravely underestimated these kids. The fifth elder charged the flag with everything he had. But a giant shadow fell over him, offering a proper apology. He slammed down before the redhead, shaking the earth, and promising to fight for real. He vowed not to underestimate them again. Then, he launched himself forward like a cannonball. He smashed a powerful fist right into the elder's gut. With that first blow, he geared up for another as his foe went flying, closing the distance instantly. The bearded giant threw another punch at the fifth elder. The force launched the redhead through the air until he crashed hard into a nearby rock. Blood sprayed from his lips. From the devastating impact, with a grin, the old man asked if this still looked like a bluff now that he was serious. Suddenly, he spotted a blur racing across the battlefield. It was our hero, making a break for the flag. But the blonde dropped in, asking where he was off to. In such a hurry, Kim couldn't believe his speed. Disappointed, the old man said this was fun, but not enough to be a true champion. He decided to wait and see what secrets. Our protagonist was truly hiding. We see a flashback of Kim relaxing in his bed. The gunslinger took out his phone, pondering the reward for defeating the fifth elder. He wondered aloud how he'd use this in a real battle, playing it up. He sighed that he hated using a trump card so soon. Confused, the old man looked up, wondering about that strange gadget. Incredibly, the young man played his final card a flash bomb. He aimed it at the old man, declaring the power of pure science. The brawny giant was stunned by what our hero did. As his vision cleared, he rushed blindly toward the flag. Our hero thought this was the most fun he'd had in a while. After all, his science was one of a kind in this world. He declared he'd be counting on the old man from this day forward. The protagonist stood tall, victory symbol raised, announcing he had captured the flag and secured his win. But the old man was silent, looking deadly serious. Confused, our hero asked if he was going to break his promise. The blonde just laughed, saying the Mongu clan's leader was a true riot who entertained him like no one else. Walking over, he declared, "A promise is a promise, and I always keep mine." He told his brother to take good care of him. Our protagonist, still wary, decided to just play along. Then they shook hands, sealing their new bond. But the young man felt his hand being crushed and asked why. The old man just wanted to be called Big Brother, much to our hero's annoyance. He sighed, looking intense, and said he'd do his best. With a grimace, he called him Big Brother. That night, the old man declared it a grand day for a party. He told everyone to raise a glass, as the famous Mongu clan was now family, officially. The entire crowd roared, chanting the name of the protagonist's clan, watching the scene. Kim wondered if the old man was really okay after taking those hits. He then noticed someone was missing. He asked where the third elder was. The redhead replied she wasn't well and had retired to her room. Our hero thought that made sense after the damage she took. The elder stared out her window, her face twisted with guilt and sorrow. In her heart, she felt useless, like she held back her beloved leader. Suddenly, a voice asked if the third elder was present. She turned, inviting the leader inside. Our protagonist entered, asking why she was alone with her thoughts. She insisted she was fine, saying the chief held back so she wouldn't be gravely injured. Her wounds were already healing. He was relieved and told her not to worry about what would happen next. But as he left, he heard her whisper an apology to her master. Curious, Kim asked what she meant. She confessed that she felt weak and couldn't help. The boy insisted she shouldn't feel that way. Their opponent was a true monster. Everyone faces struggles. It's okay to fall. The key is to get back up, dust yourself off, and move on without any regrets. One day, he'd challenge his new brother. Again, he added that she was getting stronger, so she should push aside those useless feelings and not let them ruin her pretty face. He said his goodbyes, leaving the third elder blushing and grateful for his words. As he stepped outside, he saw the two brutes drinking together. The old man called for his brother to grab a drink, noting he and the elder were already deep in their cups. Our hero just wanted to rest instead of joining the chaos. But then he heard them doubting his ability to drink. They'd never seen him take a sip and assumed he was a lightweight. Piqued, Kim decided to join them for a small drink, but passed out cold after just half a glass. At sunrise, the old man pledged his full support. He'd always have his little brother's back, be it with food, funds, or anything else. Before leaving, his daughter approaches Kim with a gift. Blushing deeply, she says it's only for a man she truly likes. Our hero stays silent as the fifth elder jokes about his lady killer reputation. Kim is offered the gift, but then, in a shocking twist, she gives it to the fifth elder instead, revealing her true crush. She hopes that, even if it's not a masterpiece, it'll fill his stomach. The redhead tries to decline the offer, noting the clan leader's presence, but with a smirk, he declares wasting food is a crime and accepts. His friend can only watch the awkwardness unfold. Back at the sect, everyone sees he's returned unharmed, but as he enters, something feels off. He spots an enormous man he has never seen before. Who is that? The third elder complains about being bored, so the large man says he provided her plenty of entertainment with mountains of food. Later, our main character is in bed calling for his puppy, asking about its day. A voice at the door apologizes for the late hour, mentioning a visitor has traveled a great distance to see him. Intrigued, our hero tells them to enter. A person steps in quietly, sorry for the late arrival. She brought an urgent letter from his father, which explains why she had to come alone. Seeing she must have rushed, he takes the message, looking it over. He wonders about the mysterious Nansen League. The scene shifts to a dark, remote street lit only by distant house lights. A man and his companion ignore a street-side proposal as they walk. They stop before a certain door. After ringing the bell, an attendant appears immediately. He greets them, asking who they seek. The man says he's looking for some familiar faces staying for the night. Apparently, some patrons think their fame buys them unlimited free drinks. The older man slams a bag of coins on the table. This is the leader of the Gorian faction, hailed as the next generation's rising power. The receptionist shows them the room. They need insight. A drunkard and his friends are begging for more liquor. Spotting the leader, the drunk fool greets him, asking if he brought more drinks before they eat. Main event, the bearded man's fury ignites at the disciple's audacity. He turns to his subordinate, confirming his initial impressions. He then gives an order scour every nearby village to find out who harmed his juniors. He even wants wanted posters circulated among the locals. The third elder is known as handsome and powerful, but one who skillfully avoids messy conflicts. The others inspect the poster of the third elder, a symbol of virtue. Her involvement makes things tricky. One of them has to be the mastermind. And it's our main character, who framed them as guilty at the meeting. He brings up the letter from Noim Chong Chaiju. He suggests they visit the Ronin Association to find an ally, asking about the place. The second elder explains it's a mercenary group.
With no ties to any orthodox or unorthodox sects. Their independence is simple, they don't belong.
Either by circumstance or by choice. Or perhaps they are just too powerful to need a clan.
They act as mercenaries for coin and freedom. They could be a mighty ally, but a terrible risk.
If they became an enemy? The second elder concludes that hiring them would be a reckless gamble. But our hero knows they live for money. So he proposes an offer more valuable than gold. The bearded man asks what that could be. A sly smirk plays on our hero's lips. His plan already formed. Threats, he says, are the optimal move here. Everyone is stunned by this outrageous idea. He believes money isn't the ultimate motivator. There's something that always beats it the value of life. Once they dominate the martial arts world, they can eliminate anyone, friend or foe. The enemy might offer gold, but few will accept a payment that costs them their life. If they offer their allies fair reward, they will keep plenty of loyal followers. The elder sees his point, but asks how they'll find the funds for
such compensation. The main character replies that their very lives are the compensation.
This statement leaves the elder utterly baffled. The first elder dismisses the idea as pure foolishness. To the allies, wasting no time. Our hero tells the third and fifth elders to prepare for the next mission. The woman raises a hand, her expression apologetic. It seems she cannot join them this time.
Our hero was hesitant to part ways with her, but she explained their journey had been a real wake-up call. She knew her current power level was useless against the cult leader. He'd already tried the "you're not useless" speech, and she
agrees, but she's determined to get stronger on her own terms. She's embarking on a training journey. Our hero understands her resolve, but insists he needs someone to fill her spot. He considers the second elder, but the man is blunt. My apologies, I am handling the Mongu clan affair. I can't leave. Realizing how crucial it is to keep him around, our protagonist reconsiders and picks one of the less essential elders. He points to the fourth
elder, announcing he'll be coming with them. Suddenly, the first elder shouts that he can't help and tells the
fourth elder to protect the protagonist with his life. Annoyed, Kim briefly considers silencing him right then. And there, as the carriage departs, the blonde woman decides to tag along. When he asks for her reason, she simply states, I can assist the fifth elder. The redhead laughs, saying, the leader's niece has spoken, so he has no other choice. The coachman then shouts that they've reached their destination. Stepping out, our hero thinks the place looks far too suspicious for a mercenary hangout, and wonders if they're in the right place. The fifth elder confirms it, revealing this is the place from his brother's letter. He figures someone will probably appear from the trees. A hidden presence watches, knocking an arrow aimed at the protagonist. The fourth elder spots the danger, shoves him aside, and takes an arrow to the ribs. Blood spills everywhere. A voice mutters that this is a letdown, as the fifth elder demands to know who's lurking in the shadows. The unknown figure scoffs that he expected more from his master's guest. But clearly Kim can't even dodge a single arrow. He warns that if Kim dares to enter the Nangyang Association, he's a dead man. Our protagonist glares back with utter disgust, wondering if everyone in this place is completely insane. The fifth elder, stone-faced, asks who is attacking them, and they learn that it's their guide. The long-haired man says no matter how he looks at them, he feels they're going to die if they attempt to enter the association. Our gunslinger steps in front of the fifth elder and says if he's their guide, he should start acting like one. Someone like him should focus on his duty instead of making threats. The newcomer notes our hero's confidence, but says there's a condition for entry. Someone must first prove their skills by passing a test. Our gunslinger stays silent, his expression accepting the challenge. Behind them, the larger man struggles with the pain from his wound. The guide smirks, saying the test is easy and tells them to look. They just need to hit the target up ahead. Our hero asks why the target is so obvious, and the man says it isn't that simple. He reveals another target, hidden directly behind the first. The protagonist freezes, realizing he must hit one target while avoiding the other. The man, seeing his confusion, decides to demonstrate. He draws his bow, taking aim. With incredible precision, the arrow flies with lightning speed, catching the gunslinger's full attention as it swoops down and strikes the second target, missing the first. The impact is so powerful the object trembles. With a confident smirk, the man calls it child's play. If they can do that, he'll guide them. No questions asked. He then offers the bow to our protagonist, who refuses, saying he'll use his own style. Our hero points his strange weapon at the target. The guide is shocked, having never seen such a device. A loud crack echoes, striking only the front target. An onlooker bursts into laughter. It's the guide, who says he'd never pull that off with such a crude weapon. He tells our hero not to feel bad. Very few can make a shot like that on their first try. But then more shots ring out, catching the guide's attention. Our protagonist keeps firing, emptying his entire magazine. The gunslinger calls out to the guide, asking if he truly fulfilled their deal. The long-haired man tries to avoid the question, but our hero insists he only had to hit the back target. Nobody said he couldn't destroy the front one. First, he then turns his back, ordering them to lead him to the Ronin Association. Completely stunned. The guide agrees, but says it's too late now, so they will leave in the morning. Later that night, as darkness deepens, footsteps approach a nearby group, asking if this is the spot where they saw our protagonist. As one man steps forward, someone shouts for his attention. It's the guide, asking where they came from since his master expected no other guests. With a hand on his quiver, he demands to know who they are and what their business is. Without warning, the oldest man. He steps up, saying he's with the clan crew. Word is, their targets just appeared nearby, and he wants to confirm the intel. You can see the guy running a quick background check before making a move. The woman on the poster, an absolute stunner. The man on the next flyer was definitely on the list. And the last one. Yep, the same oddball from before. The mood grows thick with tension, like a storm is brewing. But as guests of the master, they have to be cautious. The young man asks why he's getting ignored. The answer, because I don't feel like it. Confused, the bearded man presses on, saying he can't afford any trouble. The reply, I just don't want to share, changing tact. He says this is a private area. If their business is over, they should leave. The old man catches on, realizing their targets might be inside this very house. The pressure in the air intensifies, becoming almost suffocating. Just then, someone new arrives. Our protagonist, woken from his nap, asks what all the commotion is about. With a grimace, the man says he tried to cover for them, but everything failed. Because of this wild card. Sizing up the newcomers, the leader demands the wanted posters. He recognizes the long-haired man as his target. The one next to him is probably the leader. Our hero remains silent, staring at the terrible sketch, hearing how it's a perfect match. The gunslinger, annoyed, scoffs. How do I resemble that punk soon seeing their outfits? He figures they're the ones who caused a stir in the district. Are you here for revenge? The leader says they crushed his disciples just days ago. As their senior, he must step up and handle this personally. But our hero shoots back that he should get his facts straight. It was his juniors who started this whole mess. They got beaten and ran crying to their senior. He questions what kind of man would do that, calling it a dishonor. The bearded man says that's not how it was. They were jumped by newcomers. If their clan's reputation is damaged, it becomes a huge problem. And that's why he intervened. Our hero notes their arrogance, telling them to fight for real, to see who's truly the strongest. The annoyed elder says the kid's confidence is ridiculous, and he'll be begging for mercy he won't receive. Then he lunges, screaming for him to die. But suddenly, a fist flies at him, much faster than expected. He blocks the heavy hit with his blade, but that punch is no joke. The impact sends him sliding across the ground. The fifth elder grins, saying he has orders and shouldn't have rushed in. The other disciples yell, "How dare you strike a senior, brother?" But in a flash, a bullet rips through the air, hitting one in the head for an instant kill. His ally doesn't even see what happened as his friend's body is thrown back gruesomely. Seeing this, the newcomer can only gape in shock. Our protagonist, gunsmoking, declares this a one-on-one duel between men. No interference will be tolerated. Realizing the gravity, the elder accepts the terms of the fight. He charges the fifth elder for a proper duel. After taking the blow, the redhead says the speed wasn't bad, but then returns a powerful punch. He adds there's a lack of strength in practice. In his style, seeing his opponent's arrogance, he decides to teach this junior how it's really done. He prepares to unleash the Kunglen clan's secret technique, a slash that can split light itself. With his arm now bleeding, the elder lets out a soft sigh, clearly feeling the sting of that attack. Annoyed, the senior vows to wipe that smirk off his face, but our protagonist grabs his attention with a wild attack from the side. He's left wondering where the gunslinger is even looking. The boy dodged the feint but still took a hit to the neck. Let's see if you can dodge the next one. Confused, the elder demands how he dares to interfere. In a one-on-one, the protagonist just shrugs, saying he doesn't care. The battlefield is never fair. What rules? Spotting the strange weapon, the man knows he can't dodge. He raises his hand, saying a true martial artist should understand honor. Our protagonist just laughs, asking if he looks like an artist. He's just a killer. Being called a killer. He says they'll meet in hell when he dies. The elder tries to move, telling him not to make him laugh, but with a swift motion. The shot sends him sprawling, weapon clattering to the ground. The bullet only grazed his shoulder, as our protagonist claims. He's lucky. After all, he's a killer. But for now, he'll be allowed to live, giving one final warning, he says next time. Kim will put a hole in his head. He tells him to nod if he understands. Sweating bullets, the elder curses our protagonist. A heavy voice then calls the old man a bastard, saying he ordered the kid taken care of ages ago. He demands to know why he's still alive. It turns out this is the main elder of the clan. He stammers that it's not what it looks like, but is cut off. The bearded man asks if he was given permission to speak. Our protagonist wonders who this new old geezer is. The man declares it's all over and asks why he's here. The elder claims that because of his authority, the children of his family have been harmed. The matter ends only when he declares it so. The gunslinger finds this ridiculous and asks how he'll get his revenge. The man grins like a psychopath and says it's simple. Rip the protagonist's head clean off, and boom. Problem solved. Loading his gun. Our protagonist asks if the old man has the skills for that. The man insists. It's better not to use that weapon against him, calling it basic and a sign of weakness, assuming the gun is powerful but only fires straight. He boasts that if he predicts its path, he can block it. Easily, our hero tells him to give it a try. He fires, and we see the old man poised to block the bullet, but the protagonist hits the other elder instead. With both shoulders bleeding, the man asks why he was hit if the old dude was the target. With a maniacal grin, the boy replies that the man said he could block a bullet, so he assumed what was in front of him could do the same. Realizing the boy's madness, the older man's desperation grows. The protagonist says there's no logic in thinking one can block a bullet. He's seen others try it, and they all ended up dead. He tells his opponent to stay sharp, firing another round toward the old man. But with a flash in his eyes, the man sees and splits the projectile in half. With a serious face, he just stares as the smell of gunpowder hits his nose, and, with the shattered bullet on the ground, he scoffs that he told him so. Then he starts laughing, having blocked the strike, commenting that it was nothing special. The fifth elder, watching this, knows this guy is a monster for blocking an attack from his master. Kim, meanwhile, is in complete shock. This dude just did something that seemed impossible in his world. Sweating cold, he tells himself it was just a fluke and aims again. But the old man declares it's his turn now. He tells our hero to get ready as a sword flies for his head. However, someone interrupts, asking how he dares. It's the fourth elder, who blocks the sword, dismissing it like an insect, landing on his skin. Behind him, the fifth elder leaps in like a beast, telling his brother to clean the blood from his skin. With a mighty downward smash, he cracks the ground, claiming he'll take over from here. The old man has already leapt back to safety. But from the smoke cloud, the fifth elder emerges once more, looking ferocious. He starts dueling the swordsman using only his fists. He's incredibly strong, but then he realizes something that makes his eyes go wide. His foe is blindingly fast and appears behind him in an instant. Dodges the blade, but only by a hair's breadth. Our protagonist knows this is a serious problem. Even the fifth elder's help might not be enough. They're moving too fast for him to even get a shot. Suddenly, a thunderous roar breaks. The sound barrier. Both elders notice and look toward the projectile. In an instant, something is fired, hitting the battlefield's center and causing a huge explosion. The boy wonders what that was. It was crazy. Powerful. Almost like a bomb. Looking closer, he's stunned to see it was an arrow crackling with lightning. He questions who could unleash such a devastating attack. The elder demands to know who dares to interfere. Suddenly, a deep voice says it's shameful for an elder to bully kids, especially his brother's special guests. This newcomer says he needs to handle his own disciples and suggests they should all leave. The other, however, says that's ridiculous, as these are family matters to be settled now. Facing the new arrival, he recognizes a familiar figure. He notes the man with the bow is immensely powerful. It's the dragon-slaying deity who says it's time to spill some blood on his own turf. This monstrous, wall-like figure begins moving slowly, but with immense pressure. The old man wonders why a legend of his caliber is here. The man, seeing the elder's face, thinks he must have a clue who he is. But then he says if a bloodbath is what it takes, he won't hesitate to provide one. The old man thought this legend had faded, lost to the annals of martial arts. He demands to know why he's here. The legend says he owes no explanation for his past. He then jokes that old age just makes him sleepier at night. He mocks the old man's shocked face, who then turns to leave. The elder gives the order to his men. Everyone, prepare to move, we're leaving now.
But he gives our hero one final, chilling warning.
He must remember his title, the venomous silk bug on fire. Anyone he bit would beg for death's sweet release. Their agony was a taste of hell itself. The old man aims his blade at our hero, saying that this time, he'll be spared out of respect for the great elder, Gungshin. But their next encounter will be far bloodier.
Our hero watches them retreat, his face like stone. He can't just let such a dangerous foe escape.
But Gungshin warns him not to start a fire he can't put out. If he attacks now, he'll ignite a terrible conflict. A massive war between the clan and the sect would erupt. Shaking with fury, Gungshin scolds his disciple. "Why were you so late?" he roars. Furious this happened. The long-haired man stammers an apology. But the elder is beyond hearing it and prepares to strike. Our hero watches, impressed by the old master. Even a bow becomes a deadly close-quarters weapon. Later, the elder asks why they're at the Ronin Association. Our hero's reply is simple. His goal isn't small. He plans to conquer the entire Murim world, and he's seeking warriors to join his cause. This piques the elder's interest, who notes his brother. Certainly sent him a fascinating character, Kim Gun, the leader of the Mongu clan. He then asks with a smirk, if Kim truly believes he has what it takes, he then agrees to guide Kim, telling him to rest for their trip. The next day, Kim reflects on what happened. A line was crossed that he never thought possible. What kind of monsters lurk here? If an old man can fight so fiercely with a bow? He was too confident. He now knows he must be stronger. At dawn, the elder asks if they're prepared. The journey ahead is long.
A carriage is ready for them, but Kim declares he isn't going. He tells the fifth elder to recruit allies instead.
They all ask about his new plan. Kim explains that collecting meat shields taught him he needs something better. The bearded man asks, "And what is that?" Kim reveals that his long-range arts are great, but it's not enough. He needs power that matches the elder's. So he asks the master to teach him how to become stronger. The elder just raises an eyebrow, questioning his true intentions. Clearly suspicious of the request. His disciple snickers, noting it's not easy training under the world's strongest archer. The master smacks his head, telling him to shut it. Kim clarifies he's not asking to be a disciple, but asks if he has ties with the No Clan's leader. The elder nods. So Kim drops a logic bomb. He's his brother's sworn younger brother. It's a straight-up fact. He's family, the youngest of the bunch, so why wouldn't he teach his own kin? It's an elder's duty to guide the young. The hairy disciple argues that this makes no sense whatsoever. Kim's younger than their master, but Gungshin finds the idea of three brothers quite amusing. They are now a trio that watches each other's backs. The old man tells them to follow the map in the carriage. It leads to the Ronin's hideout. Once there, he must show the symbol for entry. Things are falling into place. The plan will work even better now. The fifth elder thanks him profusely, with tears in his eyes, promising to return once his mission is complete. Our hero just wants him to get a move on. The elder addresses Kim. He warns the youngest he will only have one shot. The training will be nothing short of hellish. If he fails this test, the opportunity is gone forever. "Are you ready?" he asks. Kim roars his assent. The master begins to reveal a crucial training technique. For ranged specialists, tactics are everything. His form blurs with impossible speed. He demonstrates the art of maintaining a perfect distance from a foe. This is the key to victory in any battle. It allows a fighter to strike from an enemy's blind spot. It requires masterful footwork to exploit every opening. Kim is just shocked at their incredible speed. The master shows a basic footwork stance. Move forward and back to control the engagement distance. Then, slide laterally to slip into the opponent's blind spots. After the demo, he asks if Kim can do it.
Our hero thinks it looks like a cakewalk, asking what's next. But the elder warns it's not as easy as it seems.
It must be repeated endlessly. Kim asks how many reps. The master replies that for his first time, he must do it at model. At least 100,000 times. A number that shattered his sanity. Light pierces the darkness of a cave, waking the bats. Their eyes ignite, glowing crimson. They swarm the intruder, the third elder, who unleashes her power at the creatures, ending them with cold precision. Black and crimson blood paints the cavern floor, never touching her pristine form. She inspects her weapons. They need to be faster, sharper. But a question lingers. What is the cult leader plotting meanwhile? Our protagonist grinds away under the sun, already at repetition. Number 8,694. He sighs, completely defeated, wondering how he ever thought he could do this, cursing his elder brother. In a memory, the man states he'll be gone from 11 a.m. to 1.
Causing our hero to yell for him to wait. How could he finish this in a single day? He cries that it's
impossible. The elder simply demonstrates the technique one last time. Our hero thinks, that's not what I meant. But the elder moves with blinding speed, finishing in a blink. In less than a single second, he stops, asking if the kid saw that, as if it were simple. If our hero could move like that, he
would be finished by nightfall. Gasping for air, the boy asks if the elder is some kind of genius, besides being impractical.
In combat, there's a secret to becoming the bowmaster's disciple. The long-haired disciple pities our hero for relying on brute strength. But then he sees the sheer effort he's putting in and pauses. He appears instantly, saying it's frustrating to watch his pathetic training and tells him to follow the instructions properly. But our hero is pure drama, moaning that he's dying and telling him to shut up. Suddenly, something makes our gunslinger's eyes widen in shock. Out of nowhere, a swift arrow grazes his neck, drawing a thin line of red. But he only gets a scratch. In an instant, he's behind his attacker, fist ready to strike. But then he realizes his body moved on pure instinct. If he masters this, no one will ever touch him again. It seems like a simple movement, but once his body learns it, every attack becomes predictable. He has to stop focusing on useless brute force, or it'll cost him dearly. The disciple departs, annoyed at having to teach such a basic lesson to this fool. The next morning, our hero reaches 22,021 repetitions. His elder brother appears, observing his training. The boy is clearly exhausted and hasn't reached the 100,000 reps goal. Gasping, our gunslinger screams that no human could do this. He collapses, yet is determined to continue. He says the old man can do his worst. The elder praises his disciple's spirit, but he retorts he's not finished yet. In truth, this training was always a test of the young one's mental fortitude. The true lesson is the will to never give up. With such spirit, a water drop can split a boulder. In the end, the elder recognizes the toughness he's forged and feels a surge of pride. The protagonist listens in silence, absorbing his words. The elder then notes that our hero's body is still too weak to handle his techniques, which confuses the boy. He explains the body must channel internal energy, the key to all martial arts. The giant instructs him to sit in the lotus position. In this moment, he will forcefully open all of his energy channels, a process he must endure in silence. No big deal. Right, the protagonist demands an explanation, but searing pain strikes him without warning. The process of opening his energy channels tears an agonizing scream from his throat. The bearded man orders him to hold the pose and feel the flow. He inwardly notes the boy's fragility, wondering how he's even surviving this. Sometime later, as the pain recedes, his veins bulge as impurities are expelled. He feels a warm energy gathering in his core. His Danjun. Now, they will train his body's will and fortify his mind. The elder throws a book before him, filled with techniques for circulating energy. Next, he tosses him a precious elixir to strengthen his foundations. The foul stench makes our hero gag. He asks what it is, and the old man warns that the most brutal chapter of his life is about to begin. If he doesn't quit now, he will be forged into someone entirely new. The elder asks if he is prepared for this lesson. With a grin, our hero declares that even if he is crushed and utterly destroyed, he will push onward to become stronger. Days later, the fifth elder appears, worried about the protagonist being alone with that giant. The chubby one says it will be fine, since they know him well. The blonde adds that their leader is strong, easing the redhead's fears. Finally, the green-haired disciple clears away the dirt. As a transport carriage rolls in, a horse lets out a yawn as the fifth elder leaps out, calling for his brother. He asks, a disciple for the cult leader's location. Tense, the man says he's likely at the waterfall several kilometers away. The redhead rockets off, the very ground shaking from his speed. At the waterfall, our hero is training hard when they meet. Fifth elder arrives. He yells that he's finally found him, but the scene makes his eyes go wide with shock. What's happening? A strange energy flows from the leader, a steaming blue aura like pure flame. The new main character steps out from his meditation. The elder's eyes widen, stunned. He is thrilled by the master's new aura. Just then, the blonde and his chubby friend appear to check out the commotion. The powerful gunslinger steps forward calmly, adjusting his coat to hide a demonic tattoo. The blonde girl blushes, seeing everyone there. And his new appearance? Kim remarks it's been a while, and somehow he's gotten even uglier. The scene shifts to Clan Hao. A man questions if the subordinate before him truly helped the main character's group since he folded under threats. The man admits his failure, offering to be a loyal dog for a chance at life. The man in the chair realizes the cult is making enemies everywhere. If this continues, they'll have a reason to eliminate the leader. Easy, back at the training grounds. The redhead notices something. The blonde seems taken with his brother, making him feel a bit down. He then gets asked why he arrived alone. His leader had ordered him to recruit strong fighters for support. The fifth elder says it is perfectly normal to have doubts. In a flashback, he's seen entering the Ronin Association's hall. There, he flashes the emblem of the bow god, searching for elite mercenaries. The receptionist asks why. He needs them. Feeling pressured? The redhead snaps back, questioning why he needs to explain. The scared man says it's merely protocol. He's told he can request mercenaries, but the redhead insists that will take too long. He yells that his leader is alone in a dangerous location. He needs this. Done now. The fourth elder realizes the man is his brother, but thinks he's a complete idiot for
Acting this way, the muscular man then requests paper and a pen. He begins writing something we will see later. He tells
them to post the note on the job board. The subordinate obeys with a grumble, saying he should avoid this kind of task. The notice says anyone stronger than the cult leader can challenge him, with some childish taunts. That make the paper itself chuckle. This is the fifth elder's big plan, which gets him a slap that draws blood.
our hero realizes this loose cannon is just creating more chaos for everyone. But this could
Be an opportunity. He's trained hard, now it's time to show his strength. A while later, the older brother asks if he's
going back to the cult, noting they've been there a good while. The old man says if the
youngest needs backup. Just send a message, and he'll come running, no matter the trouble. As a final gesture, he sends his own young disciple to join our protagonist for a time. It's time to level up in the real world. He's learned much from his master, but now must forge his own path. The long-haired disciple warns our hero not to get arrogant since he never wanted to come. He's met with a swift punch to the head that makes his teeth chatter. Days later, warriors arrive on site, discussing rumors of the ruined cult and wondering where all this new confidence is coming from. A man with a mustache says this is the perfect chance for his brother to display his skills. Another says it's time to unleash the Black Dragon's might. Suddenly, someone bumps his shoulder. Enraged, he spins around, glaring at the offender with pure killing intent. An ugly giant asks who dared to challenge him. In front of the Mongu clan, a huge crowd gathers to witness the cult leader's true power. The bald first elder wonders what his master did to attract so many fighters. With a yell, the fifth elder announces the main character's arrival. The previous challenger sees his opening and decides to make a strong first impression. He approaches the leader, stating he must fight to the death for his title. However, the gunslinger just slaps the man hard across the face. He asks who this fool is to speak to him, so disrespectfully. Then, the grotesque man addresses the crowd. Losers will join the Mongu cult and swear absolute loyalty to him. But if someone defeats him in a fair duel, our hero will give up his title to the victor. Until then, respect is mandatory. So, whoever wins the preliminaries gets a shot at the leader. The first fight begins between a fat, bald man and our muscular hero. The redhead coolly states they are, and lets the bald challenger throw the first punch. Annoyed, the man plans to shatter his confidence. Thick skull. But as the fist flies, the elder's eyes widen. A brutal counterpunch lands squarely on his face. Stunned, the challenger can't process it. He was supposed to strike first. But the redhead retorts that in a real fight, there are no rules. Our hero smirks. His friend has learned well. His lessons, high on victory. He calls for the next opponent. Another challenger falls with a single blow. A third is dropped just as quickly. The next match ends with a devastating kick. But then, a hand shoots up. Someone declares a problem. Since the rules don't specify who to fight, he wants a duel with the archer beside the sect leader. The long-haired archer just grins, ready for a showdown. He taunts the master's disciple, who's eager to prove his worth. Soon, they face off, hyped for the duel. The challenger claims it's impossible to shoot confidently in here. He vows to take the disciple's spot today. The archer retorts if he won't attack, he will. This seems to catch the challenger. Off guard, seeing 3 arrows knocked and ready, he scoffs, wondering if that will make a difference. But as they're loosed, the arrows curve towards him. The swordsman watching realizes those projectiles are moving as if they have their own will. The challenger is struck squarely in the chest, victorious. The archer coolly asks, "Who's next?" A familiar laugh echoes. "It's absurd seeing them here," a voice says. "I only came to ensure fairness." Taking the sect leader spot and ending this farce seems like the perfect plan. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The archer warns if the old man isn't here to fight, he should leave. If he wants a duel, then come on. But our hero says that's unnecessary. He's found a perfect test subject. This time, the gunslinger, looking worse for wear, is ready for battle. Our protagonist notes they meet again so soon. He then mulls over what to call this old man. He settles on impotent castrated eunuch. The crowd is baffled. By by his appearance. But someone jokes about a bad fruit diet. Quickly, the long-haired archer demands he face him if he truly wants a fight. The old man just laughs, seeing these fools have no manners, as if raised by beasts. Two men get angry, telling him to wait his turn, since no one here is interested. The old man's tone turns grim. Everywhere I go, he states, I find dogs barking loudly. The two are insulted, calling him old, until their bodies are sliced in half by the elder's blade. The crowd freezes as blood rains from the sky. The man sighs. Finally, some quiet. Our main character calls him out, telling him not to take his anger out on others. He challenges him directly to settle their score. The disciple interjects, saying he must first prove himself to his master's brother. Our hero agrees, but warns him to watch his back before he finishes. With his bow, the archer intercepts the elder's sword. The sheer force of the blow sends him flying into a nearby building. From the smoke, 3 arrows fly at the swordsman. He cleaves through all, the projectiles in midair, ending the assault. The disciple jeers. He now sees why the man is impotent
for resorting to a sneak attack. But the elder claims even that is a skill, impressing the archer with his sheer speed. With a horizontal slash, the old man counters. The disciple is sent flying once more, crashing into the ground with a shockwave. He realizes the elder from the Goom sect is on another level, and our protagonist admits he can't win. He tells him to retreat, as he will now face the elder, making the old man laugh at the challenge. The elder claims he knows all of our hero's tricks, saying they won't work a second time. Our hero replies that may be so, but let's see if training has paid off. A flashback begins. The elder brother admits that no matter how he studies it, he can't grasp how the weapon truly works, but he sees its immense potential. Much like his own bow, he decides to demonstrate a basic attack. He looses an arrow that flies with insane speed, felling a tree in a single shot. He explains that at this level, it's enough to fell a tree. Our main character is totally impressed by that casual display of power. Then, his brother drops a bombshell. If you can channel your inner with his dungeon's energy, he's about to unleash something insane. The recoil is so immense it throws him backward. The arrow screams through the air, hitting the target like a cannonball. It erupts in a massive explosion. The elder declares this a new realm of power, all achieved by channeling pure energy. He offers to teach him this art, asking if he's ready. With a smirk, our hero accepts the challenge. A quick look at his phone confirms it. Mission complete. He's now the disciple of the bow god. No matter the challenge, he always clears the quest. The elder senses his changed aura. But can he hit a target that moves? The old man prepares to unleash a final, decisive blow. But suddenly, a chill runs down his spine. Our hero is already at a distance. That wasn't my only power-up. He dares the elder to block his next shot. He fires his gun. The bullet blazes forward. But the elder scoffs, thinking the attack is pathetic. He intends to cut it down. I'll block this, then finish you. But a sudden realization hits him. This aura? It's different. He wasn't a lost lamb anymore. He was a demon charging straight for him. In an instant, the bullet connects. A huge shockwave of energy sends the elder flying. The 5th elder is stunned. He knew the kid got stronger. But this level of power is insane. So fast. He coughs up blood, paralyzed by the impact. He desperately needs to get up and grab his disarmed sword. Our hero approaches coolly. Didn't you say you could block it easily? The elder sighs in defeat. It must be some kind of trick. He's never seen a martial art quite like this. Our hero feels a surge of annoyance. He has zero pity for the old geezer.
From the start, losing was never an option. With a final smug chuckle, he announces, I'm the main character in this story. Suddenly, a voice shouts for him to stop. Killing him now will start a huge war. With the entire Murim alliance panicked, the elder agrees, warning of dire consequences. With an icy stare, our hero asks, What are you even talking about? The war has already begun. But behind him, the old man prepares a desperate final attack. The results of Kim's training are clear. Just look at his smoking gun. The moment he entered my territory, his fate was sealed.
With grim realization, the elder recalls he's never faced a martial art like this. So he concludes,
This is the most brutal technique known to man. Gazing down at the elder's defeated body, Kim simply calls it his weapon technique. After all, dead men tell no tales. Looking over the other mercs, he orders them to move. Or do you want a demonstration of how my weapon technique works? As his gun cracks, he adds, Don't worry, I promise to go easy. Hearing that threat, the mercenaries freeze. They're terrified by what they just saw. One of them thinks to himself, If I can't be a leader, I'll gladly be dirt beneath his feet. He immediately swears his allegiance. Kim then orders the losers to bow. A giant blonde warrior bristles. Who are you calling a loser? He glares at the man who mocked him. In a flash, our hero walks up and delivers a hard slap right across his face. Stunned, the man just hears one question. What are you looking at? If you want to speak to me, kneel. The other mercs finally get it. They immediately begin to kneel, pledging absolute loyalty. From atop the stairs, Kim addresses them all. Congratulations, you have been chosen to be the elite warriors of my new faction. Then he drops the bombshell. Together, we will conquer the entire Murim. But of course, he says, it's not mandatory. Anyone who wants to leave is free to go. But if I catch you, it's game over. The threat hangs heavy for everyone in the room. He strokes his chin thoughtfully. This new squad needs a commander.
Who's qualified for the role? His eyes land on the long-haired archer. The new disciple speaks up,
saying he must now depart. Our hero promises he'll be remembered as his respected senior brothers. Disciple. Nearby, a man with a mustache sighs. He missed his chance to stand out. The blonde beside him scoffs. Sucking up won't work now. With a manic grin, he declares, from this day forward, we're going to do some insane things together. Just then, our hero mentions needing a vice commander.
Picks the mustached man, who is utterly shocked. The brawny blonde knows he's in a bind and
glares at the guy who threatened him. He's in hot water now. Meanwhile, the shortest one spits right, in the face of the man who touched their vice leader. A moment later, the second elder declares that, since he took down a clan head, the Martial Arts Alliance will surely hear of it soon. Our hero glances at the redhead, asking if he found his target. The man nods, saying he scouted the area and confirmed the elder came alone. The gunslinger grins. That means no future headaches. He orders the body burned, a command his subordinate understands. The second elder then calls out to the protagonist, claiming this act is far beyond common decency. The boy scoffs, asking the man if he really wants all his men to die fighting beside him. He says decency means protecting your own. The second elder finally seems to get it. Soon, the boy realizes the elder knew their location. Someone must have sold them out. The fifth elder suggests there's only one person.
Who could possibly know the cult leader's real identity? Our hero cracks his neck, recalling the face.
He hadn't seen in ages the Howl Clan manager, who now wonders why he's been summoned. Like a flash, a fist slams into his jaw, sending blood splattering everywhere. Kim asks the man before him what their deal is. The man claims they're friends, but in his head, he knows he's no one's
punching bag and can't just let this slide. Friends are supposed to have your back, but his so-called
ally betrayed him for his own selfish reasons. He decides to teach him what true friendship means. The man screams in anguish, claiming his family was kidnapped as an excuse. He swears he won't fail again. Arms crossed, our hero considers his options. A traitor can't be trusted. But if he gets one more chance, he vows to become the cult leader's loyal dog. Hearing the man bark, our hero questions if he really enjoys this pathetic drama. Just then, someone arrives, asking who is making that noise.
After confirming it's the manager, the Lady of the Moon, Jin Wool, makes her entrance. Our protagonist wonders if she's the real leader and what her purpose is. With a serious air,
he listens as she asks if there's been a mix-up. She offers an apology and requests a private talk. Once seated, she admits to breaking the protagonist's trust. He snaps back that he nearly paid dearly. She gets it, but notes the contract only benefited him, not them. Why should they take responsibility for the mistakes he made? Kim knows it's true, as he never planned to repay the man.
The woman clarifies she isn't here to question him. Leaning in, she reveals she has a massive favor.
To ask if he can pull it off, she'll give him the world he's always dreamed of. Curious, he asks what it's about. She heard his dream is to conquer the martial arts world, but with things as they are, that's a pipe dream. Confused, he asks what she means. She puts it bluntly in his current state.
It's impossible, but with her backing, that dream will become a thrilling reality.
But there's a catch. Her request is dangerous and could jeopardize the lives of his entire
crew and even the cult. But if he succeeds, she'll reward him handsomely. The protagonist is left,
stunned, trying to process it all. The woman moves closer, and the manager senses the mood turning. A bit romantic, with her face inches away, she swears she will help him conquer the martial world. The sudden proximity makes the protagonist's cheeks burn red. The manager, feeling rather annoyed, sees him pull away from his beloved master. She asks how he feels and if he can handle it. Still blushing, our hero tells her to hold on, with his life on the line. He needs to know the details. She says it's simple: find her younger sister, who went missing during a quest.
To the enigmatic Beast Palace. This mission is basically an intel gathering job for powerful people.
The place is incredibly isolated, making information scarce. Rumor is the palace's residents vibe with animals. It's well known that the people there, along with the beasts, are hostile to any newcomers. Many sects tried to befriend the palace, but anyone who dared enter met the same grim fate, death for trespassing.
In a forbidden zone, curious, our hero asks why she would send her own sister to such a deadly place. She admits she was powerless, as those demanding the info were from the Martial Alliance. She tried
to refuse, but the pressure was immense. They even torched her home to get it. Hearing this, the gunslinger falls silent, knowing that kind of pain. At the cult, he declares he'll meet the Moon Sister. The next day, the second elder objects, stressing this place has long been hidden from the martial world. Even the calm first elder warns him of the mission's inherent dangers. Our protagonist, lost in thought, asks for the third elder's opinion, who just returned from her retreat. She looks the Yanis, same, yet her aura is almost spectral. The redhead feels zero hostility, wondering how his leader achieved such a serene presence. Smiling, the woman is thrilled to see him, noting how he's grown. During his travels, the boy affectionately asks for her thoughts on the matter. She admits her opinion isn't that different, but she understands the Moonmaster's heart. Everyone here has lost precious family. To the Martial Alliance, they all share that scar. That is why she will aid the Lord of the Moon on this difficult quest. The second elder again warns of the palace, but he's quickly silenced by the protagonist. He claims that anyone who loves animals can't be truly evil. The bald man retorts that even nature fans can be twisted. Suddenly, the gunslinger slaps him, stating there will always be those who choose to be wicked. The bald man is convinced our hero is the biggest jerk he knows. Later, we find our protagonist in bed with his puppy. Sad they have no time to play. He sighs that he must leave again, asking his friend to wait just a bit longer. The small dog looks up with sorrowful eyes, clearly missing his master. With a warm smile, our hero reassures him, vowing to return with many gifts, and tells him to go play. He watches the pup happily dash off, realizing the little guy is truly a blessing in his life. Soon, the protagonist's group begins their trek toward the palace. He looks exhausted and asks if they truly have to walk the entire way. The third elder confirms this is why the palace is so isolated, since a carriage would be far too conspicuous. The redhead notices the air is growing hotter as they climb, which is highly unusual. The large man collapses, begging for the sweet release of death, unable to endure the grueling march. Then, the fifth elder spots something that captures his attention. It's a river that can revive their spirits. And our hero asks for permission to rest for a while, before they proceed. He gets the okay and dives straight into the water, eyes wide with relief. Showing off his form, he declares he can finally breathe again, feeling refreshed. The third elder blushes, admitting the gunslinger's physique is quite impressive. Suddenly, someone calls to her, saying the water's great and she should join them. They're all family here, and our hero insists she get in to avoid the crushing headache from the heat. The woman understands and agrees, removing most of her outer garments. We see the third elder has a rather stunning figure for her age. A rustle in the trees, like a sudden blur, catches her attention. Her eyes widen as she draws her daggers, alerting the group to a potential threat. Our hero watches, confused, as a small, injured fox limps right toward him. The laughing men boast they caught the creature, calling it a simple beast. The little fox collapses at the protagonist's feet, entrusting him with its fate. He's reminded of his past as an assassin. When he first found his own beloved dog, Mungu, one of the men warns him not to touch their prey since they worked hard for the catch. Our hero calmly asks what they'll do with such a weak animal. The men say they'll either cook it or sell it, which doesn't sit well with the protagonist. One of them reaches for the fox, telling the boy to mind his own business. In a flash, our protagonist grabs the man's hair, readying his attack. He delivers a sharp knee to the head of the one who dared touch the animal. With a deadly gaze, he asks what they will do if he decides to care for the fox instead of himself. Seeing their leader get hit, the others charge in, but he remains perfectly still, merely observing them. Suddenly, his eyes sharpen, prepared for action. A barrage of blows takes down every single man. It was almost too easy. After the dust settles, the newcomers talk with our hero. He learns the Martial Alliance was the one who ordered the fox's capture. But why would they want such a small thing? A huge sum of money was offered, which is why they eagerly accepted, annoyed. Our hero realizes they took the job without knowing any of the details. He calms down and tells them to leave this place immediately. A man asks if they can at least keep the fox, and since months of effort went into catching it. Our hero glances at the creature, saying that seems fair, but then he recalls something, earning the man's thanks. A swift kick to the face from Kim follows, who says he forgot to properly school these guys. As night falls, the crew enjoys a quiet dinner. Our boy watches the tiny creature, asking if her exhaustion is normal or if she's badly hurt. The third elder says not to stress. She's received basic treatment and will awaken soon enough. But the woman warns that tomorrow they hit enemy territory, so they must stay vigilant. The protagonist notes their lack of intel on the Moon Lord's sister, asking for their plan. The third elder says they'll probe the area bit by bit. The redhead adds he'll go with his sister to map the region, letting the hero follow. But then something seems off. The large man is just eating, not fighting, and is questioned about it. The man looks distraught, feeling like a defender who can't deal any actual damage. Suddenly, a sound grabs everyone's attention. Approaching footsteps are heard. A beast with monstrous paws appears, which turns out to be just a normal wolf. However, the fifth elder remarks it's bigger than any he's seen. The elders insist on handling this to protect their leader, but our hero tells them there's no need to panic. He can see it's just a lost animal with no evil aura. The redhead, sweating nervously, claims the situation feels wrong and they should retreat fast. Seeing this, the hero says he has a special job. The fourth elder will handle the lost animal. But the big guy thinks it isn't lost, but ready to attack. Shaking, he tries to convince the leader that the creature is just hungry, but the main character insists it's merely lost. And with some sincerity, the creature will understand. The big guy follows his leader's words, slowly extending a hand. He calls the wolf a good boy, vowing not to harm it. The creature calmly approaches and begins sniffing. The large man's hand? The elder laughs, seeing his leader was right and admits he was too hasty. But then, the massive creature suddenly bites down on the man's head. Everything erupts into chaos as it thrashes the fourth elder around like a doll. Kim, observing, realizes he may have been wrong about it being a lost animal. Just then, the small fox awakens and yawns. She hops onto the main character's shoulder, trusting him completely. Seeing this, the giant beast stops, shaking the fourth elder. It howls to the moon, gathering a mysterious, fiery energy. The other guards declare things are serious and they must flee now. But the hero whispers he's seen enough, telling them to relax. He says it's just an undisciplined creature. The woman moves to intervene, but her brother stops her, saying they must trust the leader. Our hero then steps before the giant creature, kindly asking it to approach. When the beast doesn't listen, he decides to be firmer. Nabi, sit, Kim commands, aiming his weapon at the beast. The monster lunges with a claw, poised to strike. In response, our main character readies his shot while the small fox beside him watches the beast. Then, the impossible happens, leaving the elders speechless. The gunslinger, smiling and unharmed, tells them to watch closely. Turns out, true sincerity really works. In moments like these, he pets the beast's belly, calling it a good boy as the redhead approaches. But the third elder saw it wasn't sincerity that halted the attack. The creature had suddenly frozen, as if it sensed something powerful in the fox. It felt an inexplicable aura emanating from the little animal. With a genuine smile, he says no animal is truly evil. He jokes the wolf probably mistook the fourth elder for a boar. The big man looks dejected, feeling it's all his fault. Soon, our hero asks his friend to get his sister's items, confident he will. Cloth in hand, the boy asks if the wolf can track a familiar scent. Immediately, the wolf moves in a single direction, and our hero realizes they're being led. But the woman states, before that, we have a problem. We've been spotted and have unwelcome guests. With a serious face, she prepares to fight, zipping between trees. With the grace of a ninja, she poses under the moon and launches a volley of projectiles at her targets, of nearby enemies. The maiden lands gracefully as her foes drop dead. Our boy sees her training has definitely paid off, but a massive horde has arrived. With a smirk, he says their numbers are cute, but what can they do against his weapon? Suddenly, booming footsteps echo from behind, and the redhead alerts the cult leader. Annoyed by the interruption, he turns and sees the giant shadow. In this world, even elephants with aura are intimidation tools. Watching the spectacle, our main character just stares in shock, admitting an elephant is overkill. The man on the Bishon Beast declares. This stranger has entered the Beast Palace's domain. Radiating power, he asks, what business they have on his turf. Arrogantly, our hero says his throat hurts and tells the man to come down for a chat. Offended by the disrespect, the brute prepares to act. With a mighty leap, he soars high, into the air, using Hunter's eyes. He states the protagonist will now learn his place. He adds, it is a pity he speaks such blasphemy before me. But when he lands, his foot twists, and he collapses. Falling hard, the newcomer lets out
pitiful groans of pain. Seeing this ridiculous display, our main guy wonders what kind of moron he's facing. Getting up,
the man assumes from his build, he must be a martial artist. Sure, here is the improved text while keeping the same structure. He then asks if he is that clueless to be here. Our main character says he's just looking for a girl and will leave, not caring if the man reveals anything. The tribal warrior insists the trip was useless. No outsider ever dares to enter their land. Our boy retorts that he doesn't believe it and must see for himself. The large man sighs, drawing his weapon.
And realizing he's stuck, saying he must now fight our protagonist, everyone around him readies.
For a clash, it's the only welcome they offer to intruders who crash their party. The
third elder knows fighting this mob is just asking for chaos. It's wiser to retreat for now, and she
tries to persuade the protagonist to leave and regroup. The fourth elder quickly agrees with his sister, saying it's their best option. But our hero insists that retreat is not an option. In his past life's vocabulary, the word flee was non-existent. Bailing now would make him a joke in the martial world. The chubby elder mutters, that's just shameful. But our protagonist interrupts, asking for the fifth elder's opinion. The redhead declares that he will follow his leader's orders, no matter what. Behind them, the
portly man grumbles, calling the whole plan insane, menacingly. Our protagonist asks what he just said, and
the elder claims these guys desperately need a reality check. The tribesman wonders if they've had enough time to
prepare and asks if they're ready to begin. Our hero says they can attack any time, but they need to remember one crucial thing. One of the men leaps forward, calling him trash and telling him not to underestimate the Beast Palace. Our protagonist unleashes a thunderous blast that shocks the tribesman. The man is unscathed, but frozen in place. Our hero
declares that was his first and final warning. He dares anyone else looking for a fight to step forward. We can see the protagonist's weapon cracking from the overwhelming power he just released. The long-haired man realizes this kid is no ordinary foe. They couldn't even perceive his attack. That immense power even destroyed an ancient tree in a single blow. If this martial artist gets any closer, their pride could be their downfall. Suddenly, he notices something that captures his focus, telling everyone to stand down. He asks why the shadow fox is with our hero. The protagonist explains he aided the small creature and won't abandon it. The man notes he's no average warrior and wonders how he was chosen. Soon, he will extend a formal invitation for him to be a guest at the Palace of Beasts. A short time later, our hero's group is being guided to the location. Surveying the area, our hero notices fewer animals than he expected. He asks if they are close, and the man replies that they have already arrived. Our protagonist's eyes widen at the sight that greets them. This is the Namen Beast Palace. The little fox, clearly nervous, burrows into our hero's robes with only its head visible. The man says the shadow fox is a solitary creature, making this a rare sight, but it seems to have taken a liking to the boy. Then he says he understands, but has one important question. He asks why he suddenly feels so many gazes fixed upon him. The man explains that seeing a shadow fox is rare, and they are curious about his presence. All at once, our protagonist looks up, bewildered by the impossible sight above. A tiger is flying. A beast descends, a giant on its back. His power is immense, the tiger ready to strike.
Poised to devour our hero, this is Samisk, lord and protector of the Palace of Beasts.
Our hero gawks at his sheer size, pitying the poor creature carrying him, but the man, instead, calms his huge cat with a single pat. He approaches, saying our hero is the first person he's ever seen the shadow fox truly trust. Grinning, the giant declares our protagonist is worthy to stay in their palace. Seeing the tiny creature, he's truly amazed. He marvels at how something so small can be so adorable. He heard he seeks a woman, but honestly, there are no other newcomers here. Our protagonist will take any help he can get. If they fail, he'll summon his wolf, Nabi, to track her scent. Then, one of the men speaks up. The girl may have vanished near a very shady area. The lead makes sense, yet it's puzzling, leaving our hero to scratch his head. He explains another tribe nearby doesn't take kindly. 2 outsiders. This group has a twisted tradition. Even for the palace of beasts, they devour anyone who gets too close, believing they can absorb their vital energy. He has a dark suspicion the woman was captured by them, wondering what kind of monsters lurk there. Just then, his phone buzzes with a message. Conquering the martial realm is no easy feat. A secret mission appears. Annihilate the tribe completely or face a terrible penalty. This is
a total shock to our hero, but rage courses through him. If he should fail, his beloved, Pop will become gravely ill. Furious, he demands to know where they are. Gripping his sword, he vows to hunt them down and feed them to the beasts. But a strange sound comes from his weapon. It shatters in his hand. The giant just laughs, saying they did him
a favor. Our hero, however, is panicking. This is no nightmare, it's all too real. The elder steps forward, introducing himself as the lord of the palace, and makes an announcement. Our hero tries to protest, but the lord continues. He says their conflicts are now resolved. They are now his guests for a massive feast. Our protagonist, completely serious, just starts cursing at nothing. Before long, everyone is drunk and rowdy. But our hero,
who hasn't had a single drop, stomps his foot, trying to cause a small earthquake. He screwed up.
And wonders why he didn't realize the weapons were so fragile. By channeling his own energy, he could have shattered any metal limit. The third elder asks if her master is troubled. She says he seems distracted. He tells her to mind her own business. She obeys, but his stomping continues. The fourth elder appears, asking if the protagonist is truly all right. He chuckles, saying he looks like he lost his favorite toy. So our hero punches him squarely in the nose. He wonders if he's that obvious, insisting he still has a trump card. Looking at the hilt, he sees it's far more useful than he knew. Suddenly, the giant appears, asking why he's so pensive. He suggests a spot with a breathtaking view, and that they should head there together. Upon arrival,
they're on a cliff, the sky glowing brighter than an Instafilter. The bearded man asks his thoughts.
He admits it's beautiful, but he's still weighed down. The elder notes his mind seems to be racing. He asks if this is the cannibal tribe's land, but the answer is no. The giant explains that the martial world at large pays them no mind. He says the rumors actually point to a different group, one not linked to the Beast Palace. They too have a way of handling outsiders, but they aren't nearly as brutal. There's a stark difference in their methods. If a stranger enters their territory, it's instant death. But the two groups share a similar appearance and lifestyle, which is dangerously confusing. If this persists, the village might be attacked out of misplaced fear. Our hero calls them absolute scum and asks why this mess hasn't been fixed yet. The old man sighs. It's not as simple as he thinks. The district is packed with countless smaller tribes. He tried to mediate, but only secured a temporary peace. He's worried that if they attack the other tribes,
panics over payback from the survivors. The old man's one desire has always been to maintain peace
for everyone under his care. When our hero offered to solve the problem, he was both grateful and terrified. Hearing this, Kim falls silent for a moment. He then rises, declaring he'll handle it, but there's a price. If he ever needs a favor, he must repay it, no questions asked. He confirms if they have a solid deal, and the answer is an obvious yes. The gunslinger decides to leave, and just then, the little fox finally makes her appearance. The muscular man asks if the fox was with the protagonist this whole time, saying, "There's no reason to hide her." But the boy had no idea his furry friend was nestled in his clothes. He asks why.
Everyone's so worked up over the fox, so the elder decides to explain. He reveals the Beast Palace was built
entirely because of the shadow fox. Ages ago, it was pure chaos, with lives lost daily. That ended when the Yishi
Palace's first ancestor appeared, bringing an era of peace. But there was a hidden partner. The ancestor of the Shiisti
Shadow Fox was by his side. The truth is, the fox is no mere pet. She is the legendary sword, a blade that can
split the seas and cleave the land. Our hero is stunned, realizing he holds such a legendary
being in his hands. The elder hasn't seen the legend himself, but he believes the stories are true, seeing at his
tiny friend. He wonders if she's truly the fabled blade. He then asks the elder how to transform her, but the old
man is also clueless. He suggests that if he connects with the Shadow Fox, she will become a sword through his will. The next day, the palace is quiet. Our hero wonders what everyone is up to. He asks the fox if she feels his attempts at telepathy, or if her only talent is being adorable. The giant approaches and
asks if he's still trying to bond with the small creature. He notes our hero has many friends, but questions how to deepen a connection with an animal. He tries to recall if the boy ever had a bond with a
pet, and our boy flashes back to bringing his puppy home. He then realizes the little creature before him doesn't even have a name. Our hero tries calling out nicknames, hoping one of them will stick. After several tries, the puppy finally responds to the name Mangu, making it official. The protagonist sees the pup absolutely loves the choice. He then decides his new companion needs a powerful name. He suggests calling her AK-47, but the little fox looks utterly disappointed. She's not a fan. He throws out other weapon names, but none connect, and he admits they're all just awful. He decides to look for a special quality to name her after. Observing her, he realizes her charm is her cuteness and calls her princess. Instantly, the animal leaps onto him, overjoyed with the name. Thrilled, our hero feels their bond has finally formed. He tells her now that they're partners. She has to help him out whenever possible. Then a brilliant light erupts from the small creature, catching them both by surprise. Our protagonist knows this is the legendary sword he was waiting for. He watches in awe, wondering if it's the legendary sword of shadow judgment. As he holds it, a surge of power flows through him, making him feel like he can slice through anything. With a fierce gaze, he asks if this is the right weapon, feeling a powerful urge to fight. The old man, spooked, falls silent, sensing the incredible aura of the sword. Later, he confesses he wasn't sure how to react, finding it all a bit terrifying. Soon, the bald leader realizes they're lost and calls on his youngest son to join them and provide direct support. His swordsmanship is masterful, and the boy's name is Samurai, making the protagonist wonder if he's being serious. The elder warns them not to underestimate their foes, who are pros at hunting. Humans. No one knows their tricks or how they'll trap and devour them. Our boy coolly replies he's used to this sort of thing, so there's no need to worry. Besides, he has the ultimate backup now. His small friend, the legendary sword, which he can finally wield like a master. The group treks through the forest, and our hero asks if they're close, looking. Ahead, he spots their targets, completely exposed. Easy prey. The gunslinger takes aim and fires in their direction. The projectile slams into a food bowl, ricocheting into a distant tree. Our hero laughs, calling them fools for eating humans in broad daylight. Disgusted, he wonders if human flesh actually tastes good to these monstrous lowlifes. But one of them insists the food is just beef. Everyone is shocked, and our protagonist chimes in that it makes no difference. Eating a cow is still messed up, especially when they didn't consider it's calves. Samurai realizes with surprise that the protagonist genuinely cares about animals, which is kind of endearing. The skinny guy swears it's safe, daring him to just try a piece. The meat glimmers, but it looks so sketchy. The fourth elder, completely fooled, digs in like it's a 5-star meal. Our hero sees the big guy is absolutely loving this royal feast, so he cautiously takes a tiny bite, just to check the hype. As he chews, his taste buds explode. And wow, he realizes this stuff is insanely delicious, no doubt. But then he wonders, are cannibal tribes even supposed to be here? The long-haired man seems confused, asking why he's so curious. Our boy reveals he's hunting them to end this bloody madness with his sword. The man claims he knows their hideout and points to a path, but our hero wants specifics. The dude, playing games, says the path is their location. Kim is not surprised. He just gives a deadpan stare. The man snaps, lunging with an axe, but our protagonist is faster. He dodges the wild swing like a pro. He warns him not to get cocky just because he's unarmed. Then he makes one clean slice that cleaves the dude in two. He brags about his black belt in swords, which makes him a beast. He thanks them for saving him the trouble of tracking them down. He decides to repay their kindnesses with a swift and agonizing end. The elder lands gracefully on the ground. In a single spin, she unleashes hundreds of blades, annihilating the enemies nearby. One of the thugs says to grab him since he can't use any weapons, but the redhead leaps in. Warning, no hugging, only his little bro gets that privilege. With a massive stomp, the redhead crashes down on the guy with immense force. Our main character sees these guys are so weak, they're barely a warm-up. But looking over, he notices something about the fourth elder. He spots two of them now. The big guy confirms he's seeing double too. Our video ends there. If you enjoyed it, hit that like. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.